This is the end. The end of CHAZ, my friend. It's over.
Yay!
There you go. I sang a song for all of you. CHAZ is gone.
No, it's just morphing to a different city. That's all.
No,
right, it's
no.
Okay.
CHAZ is gone. It was destroyed.
Sure.
They ripped its heart out.
And
The
tossed
garden.
it over to the other side of the country.
CHAZ
Right.
came back.
Pass.
No, this is Son of CHAZ.
Pass the ball.
Oh, yeah,
This
the
is Son of CHAZ.
Oh, yeah.
Son of
Okay.
CHAZ.
They
There's-
escaped from the West Coast to land
You know
in
what's
New York.
funny?
Yep.
We just watched Escape from L.A.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys have ever seen that with Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
His name is Snake Plissken.
Snake Plissken.
And then Dan Bongino, like we came back into the show and we saw a tweet from Dan Bongino where he was like, New York is entering the Snake Plissken phase.
And we're like, wait.
Because so the CHAZ has moved from Seattle now into New York, and the cops they're standing down.
Yeah.
And so he's making a reference to the 1981 film, classic film, Escape from New York.
Classic and cheesy.
And but it was crazy because I just I opened up Amazon, right? We're eating lunch or dinner or whatever, and it recommended Escape from LA. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I saw it, I put it on, and then you were like, yeah, Escape from LA, and I was like, but I didn't choose this. The algorithm put it on the front page telling me to watch it.
You're
And
going to
then,
need to know this reference before the show tonight,
Yeah,
Tim.
exactly.
That's
No,
what
I-
the algorithm
yes.
was saying.
yes.
but I think we're all being manipulated by these algorithms we created. Mm-hmm. So all the videos we see, all the Facebook posts, all the Twitter feeds, all this stuff, it's all algorithmic. And so humans create this system to feed us what we like, and it creates a feedback loop,
Yep.
making us go nuts.
Yeah,
And now
that's-
CHAZ and the 4th of July is racist.
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore is racist. And I don't know.
Being American is racist.
Oh, America's totally racist, man. Come
Yeah.
on.
Being proud to be American is now racist.
So we gotta, man, it's a crazy world out there.
Yeah, indeed it is.
It feels crazier. It feels weird. I was having a conversation earlier with somebody
Yep.
who told me that it felt like there was something in the air, like you can feel something.
Electric.
Yeah, like the air is charged. There's danger in the air, and I was like, feels like a switch got flicked last week or 2 weeks ago. Just like boom, it turned on, and now we had the Louisville mass shooter, the Black Lives Matter guy.
It's your fault, Tim.
My fault.
Yeah, you did it.
What did I do?
We had an episode that we both ranted. We didn't hold back. We both vented our thoughts, and that was the catalyst, man. Everything changed that day.
think it
I'm
was
not
before
saying
this.
I'm not saying it's exactly us, but something in the air changed that day.
It's you, not me.
Okay.
I'm without fault.
Okay.
Kidding.
Totally innocent.
Way to stay true to your roots.
That's right.
It's you.
Okay.
I don't know. What
I
you're talking
take the
about.
blame. I don't care.
Listen, it was before this. I mean, it feels like within the past couple weeks, something just changed, and everyone just like a powder keg just went off.
Yeah.
And I wonder if what it is, because I always talk about how like we're sitting on the precipice.
Yeah.
I wonder if we went over, and now it's terminal velocity.
I think it is.
So in Provo, Utah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. An SUV, seemingly unrelated to any of these protests, a regular dude was driving down the street, and there was a bunch of people in the middle of the street, and they tried turning. Some dude with a Black Lives Matter guy runs up to the car and pulls out a gun and just shoots the driver. Literally shoots the driver.
Yep.
The driver still tries avoiding hitting people, gets out of there, and the latest update is that the police have arrested a guy on an attempted aggravated murder charge. It's like, wow.
Good
We're
riddance.
at that level, right? Then you have in Louisville, these are things I think we've talked about. In Louisville, you had a guy just firing indiscriminately into the park, killed a photographer.
Yeah, it's
Shot a
crazy.
guy in the face. So this escalation is just like, it's terminal velocity almost.
Yep.
You know what I mean by that is, you could argue that if it was as fast as possible, like all of a sudden right now you'd see people running through the streets, but no, it's accelerating. It's step by step towards some kind of really crazy, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, civil war, unrest, something. Boogaloo, man.
Dare I say it, Boogaloo?
And I was talking about this earlier too, because Facebook purged a bunch of the Boogaloo accounts.
Right.
And you see a lot of people in media try claiming the Boogaloo boys are all like far-right extremists and all that stuff. And I'm like, dude, even the leftists think a civil war is coming. They're literally calling it an uprising, a revolution.
Right.
They're talking about how June 2020 will be in the history books and they're going to win. Like, if anyone's been driving this and trying to make it happen, it's been Antifa and the far left.
Yep.
Now, of course, the Democrats tell you Antifa is literally imaginary. That's literally what I think Nadler said.
That's 'cause
Imaginary
they
things
want
like
America to
Antifa.
burn.
That's creepy. You know, I wonder if they're just isolated and they don't read news, because even the Republicans are ineffective and not paying attention. Like, I don't even know what they're doing.
Yep.
You know, So like one of the first stories we have, they clear the CHAZ out, and we're going to talk about the destruction of the CHAZ, the reemergence of the New York CHAZ, gun sales. We got the numbers for
Through
June.
the roof.
145% increase in June. What did you say it was? 8.3 million guns
Since
sold?
March. Just since March alone, 8.3 million
Oh my
guns sales.
gosh.
Oh, man.
That's 8.3 million new guns all around New York, or America.
It's a lot of guns,
That's
man.
a lot of guns.
And I think it was like millions of people doing background checks too.
40, I think the number was like 40% were all new gun buyers.
Right.
Yeah.
Like brand new, never owned a gun in their life.
Yeah.
Went out and bought a gun.
So, so the numbers we're talking about now is the update. It's June. So we had the May numbers before. We've talked about it. Now we're in June, and now it's like another 145% increase year over year.
Yep.
Wow, man. And people are sharing the gun metrics. There's a funny tweet from a New York Times writer quoting Trump and saying it's like, they said something like, Trump thinks he's in a crime drama when literally no one feels that way. And I'm like,
What?
Gun sales would disagree.
Right.
People are watching the news.
Murder rates are skyrocketing.
Shootings.
They would disagree too.
Yeah, dude. New York shootings, Chicago.
Yeah, New York.
LA.
De Blasio's like, we've had sadly 4 deaths or 6 deaths or something over the past day, and he didn't mention at all like the 19 murdered victims from being shot. It's like, okay,
You wanna know what's
let's
crazy?
focus on the COVID deaths, huh?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what's crazy.
Sure.
We can talk about all these stories, but it just needs to be succinctly said that the government of Washington and Seattle allowed domestic terrorists to take over a portion of the city,
Yep.
and they actually killed people.
They admitted that they allowed it.
And-
They
and
encouraged
celebrated it.
They encouraged it.
Yep.
Now there's blood on their hands.
Yep.
Then these extremists
Absolutely.
actually killed people. So here's what I got to tell you about
And
the
now
CHAZ.
they're being sued.
I want to tell you about the CHAZ. The first thing, and I'm going to launch the first segment on this, but if you haven't already, the most important thing you can do is
Smash the like button.
Yes, I got it tonight.
smash the like
Yeah.
button. So I'm gonna try something. We talked about this the other day. The like button really does help, and we made a point about,
Smashing it.
well, some people won't do it, and I just wonder what it is that creates that level of inactivity where they're like, I don't care.
Right.
You don't have to smash it.
So when
Whoa,
I would,
whoa. That's
Whoa,
not
what?
necessarily true. You better smash that like
Yes,
button.
you must.
you have to, yes.
But no, it's
like
an
button.
issue of like voting.
Yeah.
The point we were making before is that if
Not everybody votes.
not everybody votes, but they're willing to engage, they're listening, they agree, but they won't take the action to actually support something they believe in.
Right.
And that's one of the biggest weaknesses of everybody who's not Antifa, basically.
Yeah.
Because the Antifa people are zealous.
They're doing stuff.
And that's what we're gonna get into. So smash the subscribe button and the notification bell. Let's jump over to this first story and just check this
into it.
out. This is from the Post Millennial. I watched this video. I don't want to get killed by these Antifa people. Seattle resident speaks out about life in the occupied zone. Now, he gets asked, so it's a bit pointed. They say, do you feel like you was like a hostage situation? And he says, yes. These people they've got assault weapons and they're doing weird things. Let me tell you what happened in Seattle. And I think it's fair to, I'll take a little bit of the criticism too, because I said, to be fair, a lot of people were acting like it was this, extremists were overrunning it and it was vegan ISIS taking over. And I'm like, yes, there are armed people there. Yes, they're Antifa extremists. But a lot of it was hippy-dippy dancing. The famous Chazistani gardens, the LARP garden,
Yeah.
which we all made fun of. Yeah, it was silly and stupid, but it degraded really fast. You basically have the government of Seattle and Washington allowing extremists to take over a portion of the city, and they actually killed people.
Yep.
This is the crazy. So let's try and I want to try and break down some of the rumors, what this guy's talking about, and where we're at so far with the CHAZ has been dismantled. There's a new CHAZ emerging in New York. Now, to be fair, people are calling it New York CHAZ.
Yep.
But CHAZ literally means Capitol Hill Autonomous
Yeah,
Zone.
it's not quite right.
And officially, it's just the occupied town city hall or something. But
Yeah.
people are calling it New York CHAZ. So the other day, we all heard these stories. An SUV apparently got shot up and someone died. There's a lot of details now emerging and conflicting narratives emerging on the left and the right. I think the left narrative coming out of the park is completely wrong, and I think they're pushing the story to protect themselves.
Yep.
And there's a reason. So let me tell you first what they claimed happened. There was an SUV, and it was driving around shooting at people. So they fired back and killed the driver. I believe they killed the driver. I'm not sure, but one of the people inside was 16. A 16-year-old black male was killed, and a 14-year-old black male was critically injured. And they said they were defending it. It rammed into the barricades, and then they shot at it because they were shooting, and that's their story. Based on audio from live streams, you can hear what some of the Chazistani guardsmen say. I don't buy it.
I don't buy it either.
So in the live stream, it actually sounds like they fire first. But you could argue the SUV fired first. The only problem, they didn't find any weapons or any casings or anything to indicate anyone in the car was shooting.
They weren't shooting anything.
Well, here's the story that's coming out now from more of the right. And this does overlap a little bit more accurately with official mainstream stories. There's actually a graphic going around laying it out. They said a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old stole an SUV near CHAZ and were joyriding and doing donuts in the park. Somebody claimed they had guns, so the CHAZ guard thought they were under attack and unloaded for 10 minutes 300 plus rounds into the vehicle. On the live stream, and you can hear this, and I heard this, and it's chilling. So you hear someone say, "Oh, you're still alive," or something.
Slur.
Yeah, slur. You want to
Racial
get pistol whipped? And then according to some of the story, he then pointed the gun at one of the kids who died and took him out. Ended his life.
Up.
So I don't know if that's true, right? Because obviously you have propaganda, people trying to justify or whatever. I gotta say though, from the sound of the live stream, it sounds like they fire at the vehicle before the vehicle crashes.
Yep.
It does sound that way, at least to me, and I could be wrong. And the fact that they picked clean the vehicle before the cops could come in, I think they knew that they killed an unarmed black teenager, and I think they knew this was their only opportunity to clear out the evidence before the cops came in. That's what I think happened. I don't know though. Nobody will, and that's the problem with having no cops. Quite literally, this place devolved into, I mean, what do you even call it? A war zone.
Basically.
Listen, I'm not kidding with this video where you see this dude's streaming, and you see people with rifles running up and ducking behind barricades, and I'm like, this is a war zone.
Yep.
Who are these people with long guns, and what are they doing? Shooting up this vehicle, killing a kid. Now, here's the most important bit. We can talk about what we think happened, what people are saying. There's a kid who's still alive.
The 14-year-old?
That 14-year-old kid is in critical condition. If he survives, he's going to tell us exactly what happened.
Good.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Because they hold true to not speaking.
But I don't think these are kids, man. I don't think they have anything to do with the political ideology or what this group was.
I don't know. It's still like written pretty hardcore into a lot of youth. Like snitches get stitches.
Yeah.
It's like,
that's true.
I don't know what the cultural background,
Don't talk to
where
cops.
they're from. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but maybe the city comes in, and I'd be willing to bet there's like I'm willing to bet the fringe zealots will not be able to offer this kid anything.
Yeah.
That the establishment, could, right? So they're gonna be like, you name it, it's yours. Tell us what happened. The SPD is under attack, and if they have an opportunity now to point the finger and prove that the Chazistani dude said something wrong, I'm willing to bet they try and get this kid to speak up.
Have people been arrested for this?
For the shooting? Not that I don't believe so.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think so.
Right.
Well, the cops weren't there.
Right.
So the SPD took back the department today, and there's a funny video where you can hear someone yell like, we got it back or something. It's like the cops are coming back to their department. And we'll see how long this lasts, but I think they've effectively crushed CHAZ.
Okay.
You know what's really funny about it, though? After 5 shootings actually hitting people, and according to one live streamer, there were other shootings where no one got hit. The mayor didn't do anything about it.
Nope.
You know what made her get off her butt?
Yeah. They got to her house and started setting up CHAZ 2.0 outside her place.
And then she was like, nope.
She's like, nope, get rid of them. The very next day, they were done.
These politicians are more than happy to allow the lunatics to romp about your neighborhood.
Yep, exactly.
But as soon as you bring it to their house, snap, here comes the SWAT cops and the riot cops, and they crush everything.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
Oh, funny.
It's like what a despot would do.
Right.
Telling the crazy people, you're allowed to do whatever you want with my protection, but if you cross me, I will crush you. And they did, and snap.
If you come to my house.
And the mayor's trying to get a councilman expelled.
I know.
Because she was organizing protests.
Well, I think the reason why is because that councilwoman had access to her address, and that's how they found out her address.
Right.
Because it's private information. So they wouldn't have been able to find her house without that councilwoman.
Yep.
So it's like, okay, well, you kind of
I'll tell you
for it.
You take a look at what happened, and I mean, this has been a crazy week. This
Yes, it has.
month has been crazy.
This year.
Yes.
What comes
Year
next?
It was
has
the
been
craziest year of
insane.
my
I
life.
gotta
hands
say,
down.
ladies and gentlemen,
I've had a crazy
there is
life.
supposed to be a, what do they call it, a full buck moon on
Yep.
July 4th.
What exactly is that?
A full lunar eclipse.
Wow.
The total blackout of the moon on July 4th.
gonna
What
be
is
crazy.
happening?
And there's going to be a large Antifa flag burning. Is that what's happening in Gettysburg?
In Gettysburg, yeah.
And are they counter protesting? Rumors?
I have no idea, man.
Imagine they
I
would
wouldn't be
be.
surprised.
Gettysburg.
They're going to Gettysburg to burn flags on July 4th. It's like, what?
Are we in some kind of movie or something where it's like
We don't know about?
We
No,
haven't
no.
been told.
July 4th. It's a total lunar eclipse.
Yeah.
All the Antifa show up to Gettysburg, a famous Civil War location.
Right.
This is perfect for some kind of stupid
It's
action
insane.
movie. You know what I mean?
Really, yeah.
Seriously.
We're just ancillary characters in some dumb movie.
I would like
Maybe.
to be informed.
Your
what's
whole
going on.
life, all of your hopes and all your dreams, and you're an ancillary character in a Hollywood D film.
Thanks, Tim.
Yep. Yeah, we're in.
Who wrote this? Who wrote this
Who wrote
POS?
This movie? Seriously.
But let's be real.
I
So
want my money
first
back.
of all, talking about that weird feeling in the air. I've been talking to some other people, some other personalities and pundits who do political commentary and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's kind of a similar feeling. People are like, something feels weird.
It feels
Yeah.
like
You know?
lightning.
Something's in the air.
Lightning's in the air.
What is it?
Yeah,
Charge.
Danger.
it's charge.
Yeah. And so then you have this lunar eclipse or whatever that's supposed to come.
What?
Maybe it's just the news, getting to us.
Yeah.
The algorithms
We're being
feeding
driven
us.
crazy.
But regardless of all of that stuff, you take a look at what happened with CHAZ, where this vehicle gets shot up, and it's like, these videos are nuts, man. It's like a war zone. They're running through
Yeah.
the streets and ducking behind barriers and shooting with their guns.
Mm-hmm.
You take that. You take Provo. In Utah, dude runs up to a vehicle, shoots the driver. It's like, wow, man. Who's going to stop now for any group ever?
This is what I was saying 3 weeks ago when we were talking about CHAZ taking over, and you were like, "Oh, how come these guys aren't standing up?" Like, I don't blame this. Go to this article real quick. I don't blame this guy at all, because that's exactly what I was saying. He probably thought he was gonna get shot and killed by these people.
That's what he said.
Not-
I'm pretty sure he said, I don't want to get killed by these Antifa
Yeah.
people.
That is exactly
That's what
what
he
I
said.
was
Right.
expecting. I was
Yeah.
like, these people are they're not looking at the hippy dippy guys that are making a garden. They're looking at the people surrounding the area that
Their
are kicking
businesses,
people out, that
yeah.
are segregating everybody, and it's like, their law now is the rule, and
So-
they're killing people.
Here's what I'm feeling. You got this weird CHAZ shooting,
Yeah.
which is the 5th or 6th or 7th. I can't lost
knows?
count. Execution style, whatever the story sounds scary.
Yeah.
You got the St. Louis couple with the guns coming out on their property.
Yep.
You've got
course
the
they're afraid.
Provo shooting, the Louisville mass shooter.
Yep.
Black Lives Matter extremists started firing indiscriminately into the crowd, killed a photographer.
Into the protesters.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what do you think happens now with all these guns being sold?
Oh gosh.
People are, and what we talked about yesterday, you can have all the training you want, but until you're in that situation and you get that shot of adrenaline going in your heart's pumping, you don't know what's going on,
Dude.
You don't know what you got to be top notch, man.
How long-
to handle that kind of pressure?
How long until someone does something stupid?
Oh.
I'm surprised we haven't
Minutes.
seen
Well,
we haven't seen it already.
the CHAZ thing
it's
was
what
something
it's
stupid.
what I've been talking about. It's like before the CHAZ thing happened. It's like I'm waiting for someone to make a stupid decision and just get killed, and that to happen all over the place.
You see, we referenced V for Vendetta a couple times.
Yeah.
There's that famous part of the movie where he's narrating about what's going to happen.
Yep.
And then he says, and eventually someone does something stupid.
Where he kills the
Then
girl.
The little girl's skipping, and then
Yep.
the guy shows the badge, and she won't stop. So then he shoots her, and then all the neighbors walk up with bats and crowbars.
Yep.
I'm feeling something like that, but I think it's going to be an Antifa, Black Lives Matter type, individual.
Yep.
And there will be some young kid, 16 or whatever. This time it wasn't on camera,
Right.
but he'll be like, playing hopscotch, and then some Antifa guy does something stupid.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden the people come out of their houses with baseball bats and crowbars.
This ain't Seattle.
and this
Emma.
time it's filmed.
Yep.
Mother effer. That's what that guy said, right? Where was that?
In Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma
the
City.
DA was saying this is
No.
not-
No.
I'm
It was
talking-
Philly.
It was.
Oh.
Oh, that guy
Oh,
was in
yeah,
Philly.
yeah.
Right.
When he's
right.
yelling at the camera, he's like, "This ain't Seattle."
Mm-hmm.
But the Oklahoma City,
Basically the
guy
same
said,
thing. Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is not Seattle.
What a rallying cry. This is not Seattle.
What do you
Right.
think? What do you think happens when one of these Antifa guys shows up in South Philly?
Right.
These guys are not seemingly they're not like overtly political dudes.
Right.
They look like they're just regular working class white dudes.
definitely
Well, and we,
are,
and we
yeah.
got the sheriff in Florida who's announcing, he's like,
Deputizing
I will
people.
deputize any lawful gun owner if these protesters think they're going to come out to our county and do what they've been doing all over the place. No, we have a good community here. All of us get along. You know, we swore an oath to the Constitution. We are going to uphold that oath to the Constitution. I was just
But
like,
what I'm saying is,
yeah.
one of these far left guys shows up in South Philly, and they act a fool, and someone gets hurt. They pull a statue down. The statue falls on a kid, something like that.
Yeah.
Or they see a kid, and the kid calls him, stupid names. So they call the kid a fascist. They beat the kid up, and then all of a sudden you get a bunch of late 30s, early 40s
working class
white dudes
Yep.
with their tools from their
Sports
construction
to
site,
watch, yep.
and then you see someone filming, and you just hear ting pong pong ching pong tung, and someone's on the ground, and they're just going pong 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 pong, and you just hear the clanging of things pounding on somebody, and then the video goes viral. Something that just sets. I mean, I think what would really set off some insanity would be like someone shooting someone else and it's caught on film.
Yep.
If this shooting of this vehicle was captured on film, I think we'd be in a very, very different situation right now. Because I think, in my opinion, you would see a video of a kid being executed. I don't know for sure. And that would have been crazy.
Yep.
But here's where it all comes together, man. Here, check this out. This is Mediaite. Gun sales surge up to 145% in June, smashing all-time record. You got a lot of people who don't know how to use guns who got guns now.
Yeah, that makes me nervous.
It's a good point.
Look at that couple in St. Louis.
Yes.
It's like, listen, man. I've been to a range twice, and I've taken one training course with the New Jersey Police Department a long time ago as part of a story I was working on, and they walked me up through all these different handguns, and I would not ever claim that I could properly, So I'm still looking to like what we got to do to make sure we're trained, and we're going to be, going to the range and setting all these things up. But you got a lot of people who are going to buy it and be like, point and shoot, huh?
Yep.
No.
Someone's going to be scared from all these stories. And it's going to be like some...
No, people are scared.
People are scared.
They already are. They're already seeing people getting pulled out of their cars, getting shot at for
Shot
simply
in their
being in your
cars.
car. You can get shot at. If you see a crowd, there's a chance they're going to just shoot you. I don't blame them for just plowing through people now. It's like, what do you expect? They're seeing people getting killed.
There's a handful of scenarios. One, a group of actual peaceful protesters are hippie dancing in the street, and a car just goes boom right through them.
Exactly.
And then when they get arrested, they cite Provo, and they say, we get it. Yep. In fear for their life because these people have done this. Or you get a group of these protesters marching through a neighborhood like we saw in St. Louis, only this time the lady who doesn't know how to use a gun, who's got her finger on the trigger and is waving it at people, panics and pop, pop,
I'm
pop.
surprised that didn't happen the other night.
Yeah, exactly.
I was really worried.
And that's when it goes crazy.
But that's the tension that everyone's feeling.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody feels it.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, I don't want to piss anyone off. I'm just trying to live my life.
Can we, like when you're winding up, like what are those springs called that it's like
Jack in the Box?
No, it's like
A clock. When
you wind the clock
tension.
and the spring is actually just a strip of metal that gets spun tighter and then it spins.
Oh, yeah.
A torsion spring?
Is that what it's called?
Maybe,
It can't get any tighter because it's compressed completely. That's what it feels like. That's what I'm feeling. Like, what more could possibly happen to give anyone more anxiety?
I got this. Aliens.
Yeah?
No.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
That would do it.
I think people might go, finally.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yes,
something. We can unify against
Something
that,
else,
right?
Yeah.
Well, maybe. I don't know if they're good or bad.
But I think people snap.
That's what we're seeing people snapping.
Yeah. People are scared.
Yep.
And I think we're at a point where the dominoes have all been set up.
Yep.
And then all it takes is one little flick.
That's true.
The dominoes go down, and one by one, a chain of events will happen that will start occurring that can't be stopped.
Yep.
And I think maybe we're already there. That's what we're feeling.
Well, you said it earlier, yeah. The cascade's happening.
You know that little that meme where there's like a little tiny thing, and he taps it, and then knocks over a bigger tablet, and then a bigger tablet, and it scales up to a massive. You know what I'm talking about?
I haven't seen a meme, but I've seen the art thing.
It's like
that they do, and it's like a freaking 30-foot tall domino.
Yeah, you have like a really tiny one, and then it grows.
Mm-hmm.
There's a meme about it where it's
Exponential.
like one tiny action results in one really, really crazy thing.
Like,
Okay.
what was the most recent one? This dollar bill looks funny at that store in Minneapolis, and then the end result is like the entire.
Oh,
country's up in
right. Yeah,
flames.
exactly.
And-
That's exactly it.
Well, the
Yeah.
other one is
Yeah.
the bat soup. Tries the bat
Right,
soup,
right.
and the entire world is falling
Take a
over.
taste. Yep. Yeah, the dollar bill thing.
Yep.
One counterfeit bill. One guy saw it. It's like butterfly effect, man.
Yeah.
This dude's like, this 20 don't look right, and he calls the cops, and now here we are. Everything's in
Jeez,
chaos.
dude.
But it seems to me like the dominoes had been stacked up for a long time.
Well, it's election year, so they really have to kick it up a notch.
This
That's
is different.
True too. This is
What did
wild.
Cernovich tweet? He says the first time in my life that the 4th of July has been canceled.
Yeah, it is pretty insane.
Yeah.
That scares me the most, because who's gonna say, oh, okay, we won't celebrate the 4th of July.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll do nothing.
No,
It's literally a day where we tell the government to F off.
That's the
It's
whole
like
point.
the holiday is literally based upon the day when Americans were like, F you to the monarch.
That's a good point.
And so now the government's saying nobody celebrate that day where
Wait
you're
a
telling the government
second.
to go shove off.
Unless you're Antifa going to the Gettysburg
Yeah, to burn
historical
a flag,
cemetery.
for
Oh, I got it.
example.
I got it. Here we go.
Burn, oh yeah, what do you got it here?
Here's Andrew Cuomo.
This
no.
freaking guy.
New Yorkers must comply with social distancing
must
and wear
they?
masks. Don't risk your life. Don't risk someone else's life. Wear a mask.
And over 40% of the deaths in New York City were from people he shoved into nursing homes.
Seriously.
Thanks
Well,
a lot,
look at-
Cuomo.
Right.
Here's what I said. NYC occupation exempted, of course,
Yeah, of course.
because the
or protesting.
do I actually have that? Yeah, cops clash with NYC Occupy City Hall protesters after city council vote. And look at this. This is amazing. 3 people were taken into custody, 1 accused, yada yada. After a heated standoff, cops backed down, allowing the occupation to continue.
Well, there you
After
go.
cops withdrew, protesters spent the better part of the morning cheering, clapping, and toasting their accomplishments with blue solo cups of champagne brought to the encampment after the NYPD budget was slashed. And then, I love it, Ocasio-Cortez. What did she say?
1 billion
one?
is not enough.
Yeah, 1
Yeah,
billion,
1 billion is not enough.
When we say defund the police, we
That's-
mean defund the police.
What does that mean, though? That
Shut
was
No money.
so abolish. You mean?
Yeah.
Shut 'em down.
You don't mean to defund. You mean abolish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stupid.
I think these
Not
people,
smart.
my personal opinion is the first thing they need to do is get rid of the police, because then the fight on the street becomes ideological, forcing people to choose sides. The biggest obstacle for the far left in their accelerationist plans is the police, who are neutral. They're government, they're establishment, but
Right.
they're not ideological. Now, they can try and argue the police are, and many of them are, but when it comes to pro-Trump, MAGA, Proud Boy, whatever, and Antifa, far left, progressive, the police are not a part of either of these tribes. They're standing in the way.
As a whole, no.
Which means
right.
what's supposed to happen is when the 2 tribes clash, the police break it up, push everyone apart, make arrests. Not always. So how do you get it so that you can have your full-on war? The left needs to get rid of the police,
That's a good point.
and they're doing it. Once the police are abolished, demoralized, or gone, then you're going to see, like, weren't you telling me this the other day, that a bunch of cops are joining militias and stuff?
Yep.
They're factionalizing, or
Yep.
whatever the word would be. They're joining. So then, once the police are gone, now the American people are torn between which side is the legitimate side, and it goes all the way to the top. Is it Joe Biden or Donald Trump?
And yet we have these the protests calling and asking for police escorts to keep them safe,
Yep.
Yeah,
as they ask to while they protest defunding the
Yeah,
Well,
police.
please help
they're
us to
clearly
defend
cheating.
you. Yeah.
they're clearly not playing by any legitimate rule. They're
Yep.
just trying to manipulate. I think most of them are just dumb. I think most of them are just like whatever.
Following whatever.
Yeah, so when
they
someone
think is cool.
opens a gate to private property, they walk in like, burp.
Yeah, we can be here. Burp, 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 burp.
Yep.
They have no idea.
Nope.
It's like I think about the conversations I have on Facebook with people, and it's really funny. You can make a vague statement, and then someone makes 1,000,001 assumptions about what they think you're talking about, and it's always some weird high-level political. It's like you could post something like, this is the joke about Twitter. It's like, man, I love pancakes. Why do you hate waffles?
Yep.
Like there's an assumption people make. They just want it to be the fight.
Yeah, I'm sick of it, man. On Facebook too. It's just like that's what it feels like. You can't say anything without. I mean, even on Twitter, it doesn't matter. Social media in general, you say anything, people just they take it and fit it into their narrative. Look at the bottom line of how they can be upset about the narrative that they've placed on it, and then scream at you for that. And it's like, well, you're the one who made it racist. You're the one who's applying your rules of all whatever. It's not necessarily racist. It's PC culture in general. You know, it's like you're the one who is twisting it into that.
I told you about Bugs Bunnying people, right?
Right.
So for those that missed the context, it's basically that famous episode of Looney Tunes where Daffy is like, it's rabbit season, and then Bugs is like, it's duck season, and they go back and forth, and then finally Bugs Bunny switches and says it's rabbit season. So then Daffy says duck season, and then Bugs says okay. Like basically making your opponent argue against their own position
Exactly.
Love
by
it.
switching. I do this all the time on Facebook. I've actually gotten people to argue against Black Lives Matter because they always want to be fighting. And that's, to me, that proves they don't actually care about anything other than who's my enemy and who's on my side.
Yep.
Emotionally compromised.
But people are always fighting, even the left fighting themselves. It's
Yep.
the weirdest thing. Like, I'll see someone, I'm not going to name these people, but there's some high profile intersectionalists, and they'll post something, and then the responses are like, honey, you are so wrong on this one. This is a bad take, not a good look. And then
Oh
they'll
my
apologize,
gosh.
and there's a back and forth, like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize. Because they're not on anyone's side. It's just, they just hate.
Yep.
They just want to feel like they have power over you. They're smart, you're wrong. And you can really easily manipulate that by saying things and then just making them argue against, you can make them argue for Trump. It's
Basically.
very strange. and I kid you not, these people clearly don't have a set of principles they're arguing for.
Or spine.
And I think, right, maybe that's the difference between the two tribes. Why it is that there are many liberals who switched and joined the Trump camp. The Democrat to Deplorable, Jack Murphy's book, I think it's like 9 million people who voted for Obama switched and voted for Trump. Even some Bernie supporters. And I wonder if it's because these are people who only have principle. And so they will begrudgingly accept the problems of Donald Trump, accepting core issues that they think are important. Like the Democrats used to be in favor of immigration controls, border controls, helping the working class, the white working class, college, people with no college degrees.
Yep, not anymore.
But now all of a sudden they're the party of the internationalist corporation
Yep.
that wants to outsource.
China.
Like Bernie Sanders said in 2015 that open borders was a Koch brothers proposal. Now the
And he was against it at the time.
Right, now the DSA has openly endorsed open borders.
Yep.
And it's become a left-wing thing. So if you're someone who stands on principle, you're saying, I've always agreed that open borders is bad. I agree with Bernie. Well, now Bernie's abandoned you.
Right.
Bernie's now calling for decriminalizing border crossings and a moratorium on deportations. So you're like, okay, well, if I stand on my principles, the only person who's close to what I believe in is Trump.
Mm-hmm.
So you can talk about all the problems, but at least he checks some of the boxes. No, you have these people on the left who it's like they've now adopted positions that were once held by right-wing libertarian industrialists.
Yeah.
My private platform, they say. When all these social media companies are taking control of the commons, they used to fight for. They used to say the commons are spaces that must be held by the public, which includes the town square.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well now the town square has been taken over by private corporations. Well, the private corporations have a right to do what they want. They can ban whoever they want. And it's okay. So if I'm going to stand on my principles, it's now with the Democrats. I've always been in favor of regulation.
Yep.
I love it when they're like, Republicans all of a sudden care about regulation, but they've always hated it. I'm like, yeah, sure, maybe. I don't like the Republican politicians at all.
Well, they like regulation now, so don't worry about that.
Well, I don't care. I don't care about. I think they're ineffective. I think they're doing nothing. But I've always held the position that major corporations run amok, and we need government to play referee a bit.
Yep.
But now there's no position for like where liberals used to be, unless you've abandoned your principles and just blindly follow this new religion of intersectionalism. And there we are, I guess,
Yep. There we are.
with a new occupation, and
It just
tribes not making.
shifted to the other coast.
Yeah. Amazing. Wonderful.
Escape from LA. Well, escape from Seattle.
Escape from Seattle to New York,
Yeah.
I guess.
So what happens on the 4th of July? Nothing.
Let's see.
I saw there was one article going around saying beware the 4th of July. Just
I saw some scary articles that people are saying like I've like went into this group to see what it was about, and this is what was being passed around, and it was basically Antifa saying we're gonna go kill white people, and like straight up take people out on
but
July 4th.
that could be propaganda.
You're absolutely right.
I hope
It could be
that's true,
propaganda,
yeah.
and man, exactly. I hope it's propaganda.
Like trying to scare
They're-
people into thinking Antifa's going to go do
a
something
thing.
crazy.
Yeah, it's like are they just trying to scare people to not go out? Like don't go out July 4th because they might kill you, or is that just gonna bring more
Dude.
people out because they're gonna be like, bring it
Let's
on?
fight.
We're-
I'm
Did you see-
bored.
It's July 4th. Like,
Yeah.
Did you
we're
see
gonna
what
celebrate.
you see what SPD reported as they were clearing the CHAZ?
What?
Vehicles with no license plates driving
Yes.
around as they were clearing out the camp with weapons.
I saw
Dude,
that.
What
Yeah.
the heck?
Mm-hmm. No license plate. They don't know who it was, but they knew they had weapons.
Yep. Seen armed, driving around in vehicles with no license plates.
Mm-hmm.
It's scary, man.
Antifa.
So, but, I guess the question I have is there are a lot of people who keep saying things like, calm down, it's not that bad, you're overreacting and stuff. And it's like, well, okay, fine, but like they literally just killed a bunch of people.
And you got to remember though, it's also these are all in cities that guns are not easy to get, or most people don't have guns.
Not legally.
Right, legally. Seattle, New York. It's like it's not. You can't own a gun in New York. You're not allowed to own a gun in New York.
You can.
You can, but you have to
course.
jump through 100 loops.
I think
and
it's
hoops to
no.
get
I think
there.
it's actually similar to New Jersey. Like, there's no open carry or concealed. Like, you can't walk around with a weapon.
Oh, okay.
It's
But
weird.
you can own one in your
I don't
home.
know I don't know the full rules. I know some things about New York are easier for purchasing, but they're very, very, very restrictive.
Right. Well, but what my point was is like this is where we're seeing all this stuff happening. We're now they go out to a smaller place in Idaho, and it's like they made a mistake. Now today I'm seeing people were protesting in a smaller town, and 2,000 people came and surrounded the Black Lives Matter movement, yelling "All Lives Matter."
Yep.
And they were drowned out. The Black Lives Matter movement were just like they were the ones who were surrounded.
Completely
Now.
surrounded.
But in
yeah.
Boise, where there was a big counter protest,
Mm-hmm.
the government sided with the left. In Philadelphia, the government sided with the left. In Columbus, Ohio, the government sides with the left. In Virginia, sides with the left.
Are these all Democrat places?
No.
No.
I mean, is Richmond run by Democrat? I know
I,
Virginia
I'm not
itself
sure.
is.
I'm not sure.
But
But I mean, we saw that article today. I just tweeted it earlier, and it's like the Republicans just stopped a bill that included the Democrats trying to figure out ways to pay Chinese interest and their corporations. It's like, why are we bailing out Chinese businesses with our stimulus packages? The Republicans are like, whoa, why is this in this bill? We're gonna squash this. So it's like, it's showing the mask is slipping. We're starting to see more and more of reasons why they want us to be fighting each other.
they made big investments, baby.
Yes, they
What's
did.
Nancy Pelosi's net worth?
I have no idea.
Oh, millions.
With her husband. Her husband made most of the money. I think her personal net worth would fall around like 16 million. I was reading an article about it. But with her husband, who's
Serving
super
the
rich,
people, she's
I
become
think she's-
uber
but
rich.
I think she's
120
Sure.
million.
Yeah, but that's mostly her husband.
Is it?
Yeah. I think she's like an heiress or something. You know, like she.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
great.
I could be wrong.
Well, she certainly acts like it.
Yeah. I mean, all of our politicians are super rich. I wonder what AOC's net worth is by now. You know, because I wonder if she's making money off this, what she's doing. She's got a luxury apartment in D.C.
She's doing okay.
Maybe. Or maybe, she wanted a raise, so maybe she's not really making that much money. Oh, I'm fighting a sneeze.
Sneeze.
Just do it. I love a good sneeze.
Nah.
Okay.
So I think a lot of these, look, there's a lot of insider trading that goes on.
Definitely.
Now, I don't know who's doing what or why, but I'm willing to bet a lot of them, they're playing insider trading, right?
Yep.
So I'm willing to bet that over time, you've had a lot of people who are super rich, work in government, could see the writing on the wall. Hey, man, China's making moves. Why fight it, man? You mean I can get a stake in one of these big old factories in China? Do it. And now they've got money tied up.
Yep.
I don't know exactly, but
Here comes Trump going, you know what? We're going to tariff this. We're going to bring manufacturing back. We're not going to let illegal immigrants take the jobs that should be American jobs. So the money that people are paying is going to go into America and stay in America, and we're going to make America great.
And now all of a sudden they're like, but my international, remember the Panama Papers?
What is that when China was trying to make their own Panama Canal?
The Panama Papers was a bunch of documents showing that really wealthy Americans were hiding money offshore, basically in Panama.
Okay.
Really
And then, like,
interesting.
I think somebody involved in it like turned up dead.
Yeah.
And then it
it's
just
really
disappeared
weird.
from the news cycle.
I gotta Google
Yeah.
that. Yeah, let me look
So
into that.
I'll as I bring it up, I'm gonna make sure I keep an eye out the window and
Yeah, let's
sleep with one eye open.
My
check for the red
goodness.
dot.
But yeah, all the rich people had money stocked up in crazy places, and then it was funny when a bunch of celebrities had to like justify it was my accountant. They I have no idea. And
I don't understand.
these
Sure you
individuals.
don't.
But think about what this means now. If you had a bunch of money overseas in various ways,
Mm-hmm.
and Trump is trying to shore up national borders and bring back jobs here,
Yep.
that's a threat. So it's no surprise that a lot of these ultra wealthy individuals hate Trump. It's no surprise to me the never Trumpers are like high profile wealthy political consultants who are
Absolutely.
all shocked. That's what they're doing.
My bottom dollar is going to be affected.
Exactly.
And now look at it this way. You've got the populist left who hate the Democrats,
Yep.
and the populist right who love Trump.
Yep.
And who are the most angry people? Well, it's fair to say a lot of the far leftists are angry. I think they actually hate the Democrats more than they hate Trump.
Maybe.
They do. They're not talking about Trump. I mean, when you look at who they're complaining about, who they're fighting to take ground in the Democratic Party. Their key focus isn't I'm going to run against a Republican. It's I'm going to run against the Democratic Party. The Justice Democrats, their principal opponents are other Democrats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like when AOC is doing her campaign, she's targeting another Democrat, not a Republican.
Well, it's also, as you said, though, they're not fighting against other Democrats in their zones. Their districts are really people walk in and hit the D button.
Well, that's like the establishment, right?
Right.
But the far left is actually fighting those people. So we just had what was the guy's name in Kentucky? Booker.
Oh yeah, Booker was beaten by McGrath.
Yeah. So it's progressives fighting the moderates. The
Yeah.
Democrats are in a civil war right now, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Yeah, the way I see it is the wealthiest, like Pelosi types, the establishment crony politicians,
Yeah.
are throwing every single scandal they can at Trump. Even Mitt
Fire
Romney.
everything.
No, Mitt Romney voted against
Keep
Trump.
thinking about it. Yeah.
So here's one of the ways I kind of feel about it. You have a lot of these Republicans who acquitted Trump because they know, if they go up against them, they lose re-election. They lose more than just maybe potential investments. The Democrats just absolutely hate Trump and go after him wholeheartedly. But then you see people like Mitt Romney too. These are the old crony establishment types. They hate Trump. And I wonder what it is. What's the difference between, these people? Perhaps it's the size of their pocketbook.
Yeah, I think so.
I wonder if that matters at this point.
Yeah.
We got a cat on the table.
There's a cat.
He's
on
doing
the
it.
table.
He's really polite, actually.
Yeah.
He went
You
under
can
the
see him
camera.
at
Yeah, he
all.
went under the camera, kept his tail down.
We
That's
didn't have to say a
that's a
thing.
good kitty.
He's here for some
Yeah.
water.
Yeah.
So there's an article going around that says, beware the 4th of July.
Yeah.
Talks about all of the crazy things that are going on, like gold is spiking, real estate in Montana is spiking.
Yeah.
Like clearly, what did someone tweet? Someone tweeted like the people who have the connections and are in the know seem to know something.
They're
Yeah.
dipping out.
Something's
And I'm
happening.
like,
Yeah. I don't like that.
should I go to Montana? What's
Nope,
going
it's
on?
time
Like,
for us to relocate, though.
yeah, we're definitely
I'm
going to
glad
relocate.
we're doing that.
But is it now or is it November? Or
Let's
is it
do
January?
it now.
Is it
Once,
January?
I mean, November's going to come and then everything's going to go back to normal.
You think
Is
because-
that what you think?
Yeah, because I mean,
Can
when
we
was
go
the last
back?
time there was civil unrest? 4 years ago. When was the
What do you mean?
Before the last crazy riots was 1992. When
Well, there's been nonstop civil unrest for the past 4 years. Since Trump got elected, with the Battle of Berkeley like 3 or 4 times. You
yeah.
had the fights in Portland. It's
well,
been
I'm not saying
escalating.
that life hasn't been crazy for since like I don't know 2010 when the SJW started
Yeah.
going crazy,
emerging, coming out of the sewers in New York.
yeah.
The
That's
Chuds.
great. That's what happened.
Cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers.
Oh, that's what that stands for. Thank you.
Yeah, it's an 80s movie, I guess.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I remember seeing that at a Blockbuster when I was a kid. I didn't know what it was, but then Family Guy made a reference to it, so now I remember it.
Nice.
But
Good old
No, look,
Family Guy.
Thanks, Family
there,
Guy.
there's been an escalation of tension and violence since Trump got elected.
Well, no, but I
Before-
mean, we've talked about this. It's like, duh, because all these interests that they're trying to protect are being shattered
So you think?
because the status quo is being changed.
So do you think Trump's going to lose?
No, I don't. I
So
think
then
he's
why
gonna
would it
win.
go back to normal?
Because they know that I mean, he's in it for another 4 years, so they have to start focusing on the next 4 years, or after that point. I don't know.
Will the far leftists?
Impeaching him didn't work. What are they going to try? They're trying to drudge up more.
They're claiming he's
Russian
working for
stuff.
China now.
That's the most
Yeah, I
ridiculous.
remember.
Have they ever heard him talk at all?
That's
what it
that
seems
was
like.
my
Yeah.
response. I was like,
It's like
Have you
if
met the man?
If you heard any of his speeches, you'd understand that he has an issue with China and
China.
China.
Thank you. Yeah, that's like
it's a
hell.
meme.
It's very clear they don't care what he says. It doesn't matter what he says. It's not about what he says. It's about what he stands for.
Yeah.
What does he stand for?
America.
I think so.
He stands for making America great again is his slogan. I mean, I don't like the again part because I think that
America's always great.
no.
No?
Look, I love America. I love being American. I'm proud to be an American. I think we can make it better than ever. And that's what it should be. It should just be
Make America better than ever.
Yeah. That's what I mean. We've only gotten better. We've created
Mabta?
civil rights. We created all these
Mabta.
like where we started, where it was slavery was the norm, to where we are now. It's like we've come a long
Totally.
way. Let's keep progressing forward and not tear it all down. They're trying to tear it all down.
How about you order some Mab hats? Make America better.
Make America better.
Yeah. I think we have. And that's why I think
Well, I like the MAG. Make America greater.
Yeah.
greater.
Yeah. Make America
Better
greater.
than ever.
Well, now he
Yeah.
has Keep America Great.
Eh.
America still needs some help.
My issue, I think Trump is
we can be better.
Trump responds too emotionally too easily. He gets baited. He really does.
He has thin
There's
skin.
there's a lot of things he doesn't get baited on. There's a lot of clever things he does. But when they insult him, it's like, what does he do? He goes after him.
claps
I
back,
know, it's true.
You know, there's a video getting shared around from Russell Brand.
I love it. He's great.
I only saw a small clip of it. But
I haven't watched this one, but someone sent it to me to watch.
It was saying like, what did it say? Like, are we underestimating Trump or something like that?
I'm not sure
But there's a really great part where he shows Trump talking, and then Trump makes a joke, and everyone busts out laughing, and then Russell Brand says, "These people are genuinely laughing." He's like, they're it's not canned. It's not like a speech. It's like they're actually laughing with him. They're
Right.
loving it.
Yeah,
He
And
is. He's funny.
He's an entertainer, man.
he is.
He knows
It's
what he's
true.
doing.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, man. I went to the White House when he did that thing, and it was a stand-up routine. I am not kidding.
Yeah, you said he was like self-deprecating, just like making fun of himself, making fun of stuff, life.
Right? And so I tell you what, man, it was a stand-up routine.
Yeah.
He would say something, and then he would, point out, oh, the Democrats, they said this, and then he would make a joke.
Yeah.
And he was just winging it.
Yeah.
And everybody was laughing the whole time.
He was having fun. Yeah.
Yep, he was having fun, and people feel that, and it's a combination of targeting their enemies, making them feel good about their perceived enemies taking a hit.
Yeah.
And him doing it, he can do it so well.
And then you got Biden over there. He's like, hold on, I got this approved list of who I'm allowed to ask. Is there this person in the crowd from AP?
What, he did that?
Straight up.
He said,
He said, I have a list of who I'm supposed to talk to.
Wow.
Is there a so-and-so from AP? And I was
No,
just
this
like,
is-
did I just hear that?
That's
This is the
Straight
art of
up
war.
heard that.
Joe Biden
My goodness.
is the greatest political genius of this or any generation. He is
Heard it here
I'm gonna
first.
need some serious proof.
he is beyond Trump's 4D chess. My word, he is playing 5D chess.
Wow.
Is he?
You see, Biden has studied the art of war.
Has
He
he?
knows. He knows to make. You want your enemy to underestimate you. Remember?
Yep.
We were saying this earlier about Trump's rally. I said
true.
some people were saying Trump's trying to get them to underestimate him. What do you think Biden is doing?
Yeah. Hiding in his
It's
basement.
the ultimate underestimation.
Seriously.
But hold on, man. Hold
Yeah,
on. I gotta
right.
say, there was an ad. People were telling us there was a commercial on our show.
Yep.
That it was a Biden ad, and in it he actually gaffes.
Yep.
Oh my
How is it
gosh.
that Joe Biden ran an ad where he makes a mistake when they could have just edited the mistake out or fixed it?
Right.
Somebody said, to be honest, it was probably an editor going through like 7 hours of footage and then going like, ugh,
This is the best
This is the
footage
only
that
one
we've
that
got
works.
out of 7 hours of trying, and then he just fell asleep in the corner. This
Seriously.
is what I got to
no.
work with.
Then they put him in a wheelchair, put the little blanket on his lap, and wheeled him into the sunlight, and he fell asleep.
Yeah. That's good.
But it does make me wonder how you get a gaff in an advertisement.
Right.
And it could be that they did like 10 takes, and they were like, oh, we'll just use these.
no.
They like splice them all together, but they couldn't get that word. He couldn't say it.
Yep.
Or
Or it's the art of war.
Or Joe Biden is the greatest political genius of this or any generation.
Yeah, and then when they finally debate, he's going to be like, well, I'm Joe Biden, and I
Come
can
out
speak
swinging.
articulately and clear.
He's going to be on so many uppers during these debates.
We're going to see him
Poor
like tap
Joe.
dancing.
He's going to be like
Ba, ba,
shaking.
ba, 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 I'm Biden.
He's going to be shaking.
Yeah.
No, they're going to give him they're going to give him the what's that stuff called that you drink it makes you immortal?
Oh.
Adrenochrome?
Ambrosia.
Oh,
Is that
oh.
ambrosia? Is that
Oh,
the
I
guys
don't
would
know.
drink nectar and
Yeah,
ambrosia.
yeah.
I have no idea.
They're gonna give him the secret formula, man. The lizard people.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they're gonna come be like, drink this, Biden. And
He's
you
going to be
will
talking,
win."
and his skin's going to like be
Both his eyes are gonna
glowing
pop.
a little bit.
The aliens.
It gets like really nice and smooth.
And
He
tight.
like
Let's
be-
he
let's-
shrinks
let's-
a little
let's-
bit.
Let's be real, though. Okay, well, jokes aside,
This is
Joe
very
Biden.
real.
Joe Biden is far from the greatest anything of any generation. Far from it.
He's pretty good
He's
to
a-
make fun of, though.
He's a fumbly bumbling, but that
He makes
could be a
kids
trick.
uncomfortable.
That could be a trick. You're right. It could be a trick.
One of the things I read about the cleverness that is Biden is that Trump was able to go after Hillary on corruption.
Yeah.
And she looked very, I guess you could say, sharp in the sense, jagged.
Yeah.
You know, serrated,
Yeah.
pointy, like, and so people would see Hillary and she would be like,
Repulsive.
you know?
For the
Yeah.
record, she still looks like
She
that.
definitely
I thought,
still
no, I'm
does,
not saying what
yeah.
she looks like. I'm saying her demeanor, her
Okay.
behavior.
Yep.
Well, for the record, it's still the
She's
same.
still like that.
The
saying.
snooty eye rolling and the cackling. Joe Biden is fumbly bumbly Joe Biden.
Yeah. How do you
Yes.
make fun of that?
He's trying to make him look
Yeah.
corrupt, but Joe Biden looks too stupid to be corrupt.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean corrupt? I worked in the thing, and then it's like this old man. You're threatened by this old man, so it defangs Trump.
It does.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
who are you making fun of? The sad old guy sitting in his wheelchair in the sunlight who's going, oh,
Yes.
Yes, that guy.
That's the
Yes, that's
Very
who you're
corrupt.
running as your presidential nominee. Absolutely, I'm making fun of him and
Highly
you,
corrupt.
No, listen.
DNC, for running him. Yes,
You're-
absolutely,
you're-
yes.
It's like, you ever see The Prestige?
yeah, great movie.
Was it The Prestige? Yeah. Where Michael Caine tells the story of this magic trick where the old man was like on stage struggling to move, and he had a fishbowl, and then he could like make the fish disappear or whatever.
Right.
And he's and he asks the magicians like to figure out how he did it.
Right.
And then I think it was Christian Bale or whatever who holds the fishbowl between his legs and explains that he thinks the real trick was the old man was weak when he really wasn't.
Right.
And the reason he was hobbling was because he was carrying a fishbowl.
In between his
You
legs.
see, so Joe
Yep.
Biden is milling about, bumbling and fumbling, and that debate stage is going to walk out with a cane, and he's going to trip and fall, and then roll on the ground like Willy Wonka and pop up and go, ah!
and
everyone
then
clap.
make a fishbowl appear.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Boom.
No, like, you know, in Willy
Oh,
Wonka.
trust me, I know.
Yeah, he
Gene
falls.
Wilder is amazing.
Yes, he
I
is.
really would love to meet you if you're watching. I don't.
Gene
He
Wilder?
doesn't
I'm
watch
sure
our
he
shit.
is.
Yeah.
Gene Wilder?
He's alive, isn't he?
No.
No.
Oh, he's watching us from above.
My dreams.
Ah, Tim.
I'm pretty sure.
I think he just
Here, you
died.
want to look it up?
What?
I'm pretty sure he died a while ago. Yeah.
No.
Rad dude, though. Rad dude.
No.
So I'm not saying I genuinely believe Joe Biden is secretly holding back his, his
He
true
did
power.
4 years ago.
2016. I'm
Well,
sorry.
hey,
I
Gene
want you to-
Wilder, this is a message for you.
I want you to
I love
imagine
you.
something.
I miss you.
I don't know. I don't know how many people who watch are familiar with Dragon Ball Z references.
Not
But
me anyway.
I want you just to imagine Joe Biden standing next to Trump and then going "Ah!" and screaming, and then his hair spikes and turns gold, and
His eyes pop.
and his eyes turn, they light up,
Bloodshot
and his eyes are
eyes.
glowing, and then one eye pops and he goes ah.
I'm still sad about Gene Wilder.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's a bummer.
He was
bummer.
probably my first favorite actor in my life.
He's so talented.
Yeah, first one that I was like, I like this guy.
Yeah.
This guy is great.
Oh man.
It might have been Dick Van Dyke actually.
Oh my gosh.
Now
One
that
of
I'm
those
thinking
two
back,
guys.
Mary Poppins, he was awesome in that movie.
Have you ever seen the episode of Family Guy where the FCC censors everything?
No, goodness.
And
is that what life's gonna be like eventually?
Yes, and the episode is Peter creates his own public access show. It's
Okay.
very, very offensive. So the FCC
course
comes
it
in
was.
to censor everything, and then they're watching TV, and they're like, and now back to the beep Van Beep show
Oh, right.
because you can't say Dick Van Dyke.
right. It's like that's his name.
That's
We might get in trouble on YouTube just for saying that.
Really?
No kidding.
That's
Yeah,
his
no kidding.
name.
It's literally
It doesn't
his
matter.
name.
He's still alive, right? I think
Parody
he- I
has
think he
become
is.
reality.
He's quite old,
It has
yeah.
become complete reality.
Yeah.
There was I think it may have been Keemstar, I'm not sure, a big YouTuber.
Yeah.
Said the word I'm gonna pause here, and girl.
Ah.
Okay, I have to do a pause there.
Wait,
because,
really? You can't do them together?
Because the YouTube algorithm for tracking speech thought it was a racial slur.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because think about what that.
Oh, I put it together in my head.
That's why I
Yeah.
said the
I
letter
said it
E,
in my head, and I was like,
then I'm gonna
I
pause
see.
and girl, as in female.
Yes.
Yes.
And that was
Female,
enough, and
yeah.
they got flagged for because it
man.
came up in the captions.
What the heck?
Welcome to the world where robots don't quite understand.
yeah.
Robots don't know what's offensive.
They don't know the nuance of being human.
That's right.
Robots.
Yeah, screw
What
you
if?
guys.
What if?
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Don't piss them off, Lydia.
I mean, yes, they're wonderful. Thank you,
What
robots.
if? Wait. What if what we're going through right now is like Skynet?
Skynet.
Yes, the
actually
AI has
taken over.
already taken over. The internet has become self-aware, and so it's feeding people all of these things to get them really angry, so they fight, and then it takes over.
I don't know.
I could see it.
The AI.
Maybe.
No,
Maybe
you know,
you're right.
you know what the scariest thing about AI actually is?
There's something even scarier.
It is.
Oh,
Yeah,
goodness.
that
Tell me.
we created algorithms to serve us, and we've created a vortex that's flushing ourselves down the toilet.
Yep.
Good
So
for
here's
us.
the way I explained it before. It's like YouTube created an algorithm because they wanted to surface Game of Thrones. They said content that is longer than 10 minutes, that gets high retention, high engagement, that's the content we want to see. They looked at Game of Thrones and said, look at this. People watch on average the whole episode. They all give it positive remarks. So
They
we're gonna,
all smash the like button.
yeah, they do.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening? The content that gets promoted by the algorithm has nothing to do with good content. It's just whatever fits into these specific little notches. And then you ended up with these weird videos of the Hulk dancing with Hitler singing
Yeah.
children's songs.
Yeah,
I'm
what
not
the heck?
exaggerating.
No,
No,
that's
yeah.
right. We did an
It's
episode on
yeah,
it.
it's literally-
Yeah.
That's what surfaced in the algorithm.
Craziness.
So think about how insane that is. And now I turn on Amazon and it's like, you should watch this movie, Escape from LA, which is a post-apocalyptic dystopian movie. And then I see Dan Bongino tweeting about Snake Plissken. And that's the character from the movie. And I'm like, did Amazon tell him to watch this too?
Maybe it
Definitely
did.
it did.
I gotta get in touch with him
Probably.
now.
Dude, I turned on Netflix and it was like, you should watch Contagion. And I'm like, I know why you're recommending me that.
Yeah.
Because
there's a pandemic.
Somebody started watching it because of the pandemic, and then Netflix assumed people really liked the movie and started showing it to everybody. Then everybody watched it. Now everyone's got pandemic on the mind.
Yep.
And that's how we ended up manipulating ourselves. But the scary thing is, the algorithms were first created to be like a TV guide almost. But now we are being guided. There's no one in control of the algorithm anymore. It's just spinning us in circles, and everybody's going nuts. You watch videos on these you watch movies about these pandemics, and like we were talking about yesterday, people start viewing these fictional realities as like real potential realities.
Yeah, and that's the real cycle, is when they make that the new reality, then make a new story, because the new reality is now it's boring, and now it doesn't excite you anymore, because that's what their norm is. So they got to up the level, keep upping the level,
Upping the dosage.
Yes,
right.
exactly.
Yeah,
The
tolerance.
dosage, man. People
Until-
are addicted to it.
Until, you know what?
You're just left with hate. That's
I
what that's
really-
what we're seeing.
I
They're
really-
living on hate.
In all seriousness, I think what we're really dealing with is that we as humans have built these systems all around us, and now they're starting to, fall in on each other like dominoes.
Yeah.
And maybe after whatever happens, there's like a cleansing, of like the chaos is washed away and something new emerges. I have no idea. But right now it feels like if it really does. You know what I think? It's a bell curve. There was a gradual.
Always the bell curve.
Well, it is, right?
No, you're right.
Look, it's a gradual incline of unified worldview. Very early on in human existence, you had weak communication, right?
Yeah.
So someone in some town 10 miles away had no idea what was going on 10 miles away from them until someone went and communicated and transferred that information. So the worldviews were actually separate. If you were to travel 1,000 miles to a different country, it was dramatically different food, different culture, different. Then communication started becoming unified, and we started going up towards the top of that peak where it's like unified communication and worldview.
And control.
And now we're on the back end. As the internet starts becoming more and more prevalent, people isolate themselves in the communities they choose.
Yep.
Whereas people used to watch the news, and the news would try to report what was happening because they wanted to reach a broad audience.
Or control the
Now
broad
people
audience.
choose what stories they read.
That's a good point.
So instead of learning about what's really happening, they specifically focus on
What they want to know.
what is Antifa doing,
Right.
And I think
Or just whatever fits their narrative that makes them happy or keeps them angry or whatever it is.
Well,
Their little bubbles.
think about it this way. I think we are part of the problem. I think I am especially part of the problem.
Okay.
Because we talk about things we find interesting.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And because of that, and because we find culture war interesting, we're more likely to be successful on YouTube.
Okay.
Which means we're more likely to be recommended to more and more people.
Okay.
Now, Facebook is worse because Facebook has the direct share mechanism. So it's 100 to 1,000 times fold more accelerated.
Yeah.
But as long as we and every other news outlet, and I think it's fair to say the news outlets take the brunt of the responsibility on this one because they're well funded and they employ teams of hundreds of people.
Yeah.
But so long as the algorithms prop up what we find interesting, then the only thing we'll ever watch is going to be, culture war stuff that shocks and scares people.
Yeah.
And then so now we're going to the back end of that curve where the unified view is starting to fracture again. Where we used to all agree on what was happening, now it's breaking apart and moving back to a world where everyone believes different things and different communities start emerging. It's not necessarily a bad thing in that capacity, but it does mean people are going to fight.
Yep.
And how do you have
I think we're going to see something happen this Saturday.
You think so?
Yeah, there's tension in there. It's been around for a while, and it's been building and building.
Gettysburg?
And they're going to Gettysburg, and it's like it's a famous spot.
But now here's a big
they're
problem.
announcing it. They're spreading
They've
the
already,
word.
Yeah, it's already been spread around.
It's not just like they're making a secret meeting and they're going to do it. They're announcing, they're shoving it down everyone's throat. We're going to go burn your flag on your Independence Day. So,
Stick in the
F
eye,
off.
yeah.
Yeah, F you. We're going to do it.
But now consider this. Here we are with about 34,000 people watching, and probably hundreds of thousands watch, the segment and the remaining clip where we mentioned Gettysburg. And then how many people are like, I'm going to go now? You know what I mean? Just simply because we talked about it, because we were interested in it.
Yep.
And other people are interested in what we say. now the message of Gettysburg is spreading. And what if we just created a self-fulfilling prophecy? What if no one was ever going to actually go to Gettysburg and they spread these memes around, but no one cared, and all of a sudden now we talk about it, and now all of a sudden there it goes.
We have responsibility.
But it's not. That's an impossibility.
That's crazy.
Because I've definitely thought about this. Right? What responsibility do you have to avoid important stories and not tell people what's happening? I'm like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't withhold information from people. I don't believe you have the right to do that. If Antifa says they're going to Gettysburg to burn American flags, I think it's really important Americans know about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree.
But what if that contributes to the severity of what happens?
Yeah.
Maybe you can't think about that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, even today, they're saying, like, because I've been posting stuff on Twitter about CHAZ is over. They cleaned out CHAZ, and there's a lot of comments are like, how come I'm only seeing this? You'd think this would be like huge news.
Yeah.
Nobody's
huh?
reporting it.
Yep.
And it's like interesting.
Little bits. But you know what? I think it is. Journalists report it.
Okay.
But it's whether or not the cultural institutions make it a mainstream issue. So you will find a news article that says CHAZ cleared out.
Right.
But will you find Chris Cuomo ranting about it for an hour, or Don Lemon,
Nope.
or
Definitely not.
Right.
Rachel Maddow? Think about what happened in CHAZ with the 16-year-old getting killed.
They don't want to talk
Are you
about
going to
that.
see that on prime time for any of these big cable shows?
Nope.
Tucker Carlson, maybe.
Yeah.
And
Yep,
maybe that's why his
probably.
ratings are so high.
Yep.
Because he's actually talking about things that people find relevant.
He does. Yeah.
And the other side is just, you know what, man? There are some political commentators that I feel like are sitting in the corner of the room, not paying attention.
Yeah.
And it's like, we are all over on this other side of the room, and everyone's arguing about the riots, the chaos, the law, the statues. And then you have some of these commentators who, these are people I think are grifting. They know that if they stand for what's morally just, which is liberty, freedom, civil rights, they would lose their audience.
It's true.
Because the left is happy about what they're doing and doesn't want to hear bad things about it. The statues must come down. No. In CHAZ, that kid was a murderer, they say. And I've seen the posts from the Antifa people. They're saying things like this kid in the vehicle was actually shooting at people. And it's like, you have no proof any of that happened. Why are you saying that?
Yeah.
Yep.
All we know is somebody killed this kid.
Yep.
So you have these...
That's their argument for everything that they do. They like,
justified.
well, this well, not that it's justified. It's that they are just saying blank statements with no proof, no backing. Well, this is the case. What do you got to say about that? And it's like, well, I have all this proof here. And they're like, oh, well,
It's not even-
I don't
but-
want to see that.
but-
Like,
but not even
this
that-
is the case.
It's
This
not-
is what it is.
But it's not even to that degree. In the case of CHAZ, it's, we don't know what happened. All I know is a 16-year-old kid was killed by the CHAZ security.
They
Why?
ripped all the evidence
Right.
out.
And then they say, I know what really happened. And I say, no, you don't. Neither do I.
Now.
Right.
But the
Yeah,
point
how
I'm
do you
bringing up
know?
is you've got these political commentators that know they can't take a principled stance. So I'm seeing posts from people where they're like, Donald Trump said what? And I'm like, no one's talking about that.
Yeah.
Like the journalists are talking about the statues coming down in Columbus and in Virginia. They're talking about the riots, the protests, COVID. And then there are some just political commentators that are like, well, I guess I'll just talk about Trump saying naughty words again.
Have you heard the expression "the adults are talking now"?
Yes.
Because I really like that expression. It's a little condescending, but it's like, yeah,
A
we're
little-
not talking about that right
a
now.
little
Yeah,
condescending.
we're not talking about Donald Trump. We're talking about things that are actually affecting us in our like daily lives. Like,
And not only that, it's like, what is Trump doing?
nothing that bad.
It's like Bill Barr issued a statement on the clearing out of CHAZ. The big cultural stories that so I follow a wide group of people. I follow news organizations. I follow left and right. And the most common discussion amongst most people is related to ongoing protests and COVID.
Okay.
There's some conversation bubbling up in the past couple of weeks among like hardcore politicos who are more concerned about the Hill, like Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
And so they're talking about the Russian bounty thing.
Yeah, this whole thing.
And then there are some people who just like, Orange Man bad. Trump said dumb things.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
what?
I guess it's lowest common denominator anti-Trump stuff.
Yep.
You don't got to raise a finger, really. You don't got to talk about difficult moral questions. All you got to do is say, dude, did you guys hear that, like, Donald Trump is dumb? Like, can you believe it?
And I bet that would get plenty
Gets
of
clicks,
shares.
yeah.
Breaking news, Donald Trump is dumb.
Yep.
And
and it will.
orange. Yeah. look
I
at
mean,
that.
you go into Facebook and it's like, that's what I see. And I'm just like,
It's not relevant.
it's not warranted.
Like,
Like,
who
why?
cares?
Where's this information?
It's like
and
little-
it's not information. It's just a meme.
It's like if you've ever gone to like a car trading card shop and like listen to little kids talk about Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. There's like this naive, ignorant enthusiasm. No offense. I mean, if you're into a Pokemon card game or whatever, it's fine. The point I'm saying is like how little kids approach it. Like, dude, it's so cool. Like, my dad, he got me a Charizard. It's first edition. It was like $100,000. No, your dad, I swear my dad got it. And then you take that mentality and you go to these people who are talking about Trump. It's like, did you hear that, like, Donald Trump actually said, he said something about, like, how he likes white people? No way. Did he? He swear he's so dumb. And you're like, what is this? It's like, might as well be grunting.
Seriously.
Yeah. Smacking
Trump
the
bad.
ground with sticks.
Trump bad. That's what they're doing. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's certainly, hardcore Trump supporters who are not all that bright. But I find when I was traveling around to the Trump rallies in the last election cycle, I did not come across, I would say 95% of the people I came across who were Trump supporters were like regular people that you talk to, and they'd go, so what do you do? I'd be like, I'm a journalist. Huh. Well, what does that mean? And then you talk, and I'd be like, it's like, oh, really? Oh, that sounds nice. You get to go to Trump rallies? I'm like, yeah, so why do you like Trump? And they would give you some very basic, bland reason, like, immigration's really important to me or whatever. And there'd be a guy be like, well, my factory shut down, and Trump was talking about that. But you go to the left-wing rallies.
Why do you not like him?
He's racist.
Well, I was told not to.
He's racist.
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably their
That's
number
like
one
number
thing.
one.
Can't explain
He's so
why.
racist.
Yeah.
And then when you ask
Like,
him why,
what racist things have you done? I have to go.
Yeah.
you'll hear things that are like, in my experience, because I did go to a handful of, I went to a bunch of left-wing rallies as well, a couple Bernie events, and they'll give you reasons why they like Bernie. And that's the difference between the crony establishment Democrat people who are just like orange man bad and can't tell you what's going on,
Right.
versus the progressives who actually know what they want and will tacitly support the Democratic Party for the time being, or actually for the most part won't. I find that actually when you talk to a lot of the people who backed Bernie, they don't care about Bernie.
Nope.
They care about pushing the parties as far left as possible because they're socialists.
That's true.
Like if you look at the Project Veritas releases, some of these people seem to be very naive when it comes to
Some of them?
yeah. Well, some of them are really smart.
Okay.
Some of them are manipulative and they're well read and they understand what they're doing because they want power.
Good point.
And
Yeah.
they're willing to do what they have to do to get it.
Okay.
And they'll manipulate stupid people to get it.
I think there's a smaller minority of that group that are smart than the ones that have no idea what they're doing.
So here's the way I see it. There's a large portion of what I would call the coalition voters,
Okay.
meaning politically independent, moderates, disaffected liberals, and conservatives, and many like diehard conservatives
Yeah.
who will support Trump. On the left, you have establishment Democrats who are completely naive and ignorant as to how politics work. And these are the people you'll see on Facebook who say things that make no sense. And you'll try and talk to them, and they'll be like, they'll just make things up. They literally just make things up.
Yep.
Then you have progressives who really want idealistic policies, and they're probably not well read enough to understand why some of these things don't make sense, but they have a decent understanding of at least their tribal, politics, like what they want and why they want it, but they don't understand how the machine doesn't make sense.
Okay.
So that's what I see. So I see a tendency among the left to have a fractured worldview. They support censorship and then complain when they get censored. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They say just pay for it. Just pay for school, and they don't understand how economics actually works.
It's like the mayor in Seattle. Yeah,
Right.
go have your summer of love.
Yeah,
but
that'd be nice.
The second you come to my block, you're done. Yeah. And that's exactly what happened.
I think there's a lot of conservatives who are very, very tribalist. Like a lot of Trump supporters who are just like whatever Trump says, even if it's even if he changes positions or. And then there are actually a lot of, interestingly, right now I'm seeing a lot of Trump supporters who are actually angry. They're angry with the Republicans. They're angry with Trump. Tucker Carlson's a great example. He just did a segment where he said that the Republicans keep offering up symbolic victories that are meaningless.
Yep.
What did he say? He was like, why should I care what was in the content of Peter Strzok's email or text messages? I don't care.
That's not a focus right now.
Yeah, how does that
think he's
help
correct.
the working class?
Right, and this is what we're talking about too. Like,
Yep. So you have people who are very tribal and willing to accept symbolic victory.
Yeah.
Then you have the far left that wants tangible but pie in the sky things. And then you have people in the middle who, for the most part, have a general understanding of the nuance, the balance, and are desperately trying to calm everybody down within reason, or complaining about how crazy mostly the left is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we said it the other day when we were talking about the people who are in charge. It's like those are the people that want power, Republican, Democrat, it doesn't matter. So the people who are
Did
in
you
the
hear that?
House, yeah, I
Did
did
you
hear that.
hear that?
Fireworks.
I did hear that.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
I hope it was fireworks.
Well, I would like
No,
to
that
think
was-
it's
that
fireworks.
was a firework.
That did sound echoey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a firework.
Anyway.
It's July 1st.
It's July 1st.
This all makes sense.
People are
Checks
proud to be American.
That's right.
They are gonna
Dude,
light fireworks.
I got to
Yeah.
stop you. The 4th of July would be the perfect day for something crazy. You know why?
Dude, shootings.
People would think
yeah.
it's fireworks.
Yeah.
People will have no idea what's happening. There could be gunshots going off and no one would call the cops.
I'll
Yep,
be
that's a good point.
upstairs if
What
anyone
were you
needs
saying
me.
about? They were saying they were going to go out on the 4th of July and shoot people or whatever.
That's what's going around. They're spreading that word. They're
That's
they're
scary,
gonna go
dude.
around
Oh my
and shoot people.
goodness.
No one will call the police.
But
But
no one will
everybody's
know.
armed now.
That's true.
They're
Yeah, but
gonna get
no one's
killed.
Scary.
no one's expecting it if black-clad dudes lurk through your neighborhood at night, and you're in your backyard with your friends and family,
Shooting
and
fireworks.
they take out a rifle, and as a bang, no one will call the police.
Hmm.
I heard a bang. The cop's gonna be like, "You say
You
you're
heard a
fireworks?"
bang?
I don't think it was
Okay.
fireworks. It was probably
Okay.
fireworks.
Well, my uncle Larry here, he's bleeding to death now.
I mean,
I don't think that was
yeah.
fireworks.
No, I'm talking about the neighbors.
No, I know.
So you'll be panicking, being like, "What happened?"
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of dark out, and someone falls down, and you freak out, and you say, "Help! Help! Something's happening. He's bleeding."
No.
But no neighbors will come to your aid. So what if you're by yourself,
Yep.
sitting in your old Barca lounger that you got from a thrift store, and you're watching reruns of 1994, Bulls, the glory days, and somebody, shoots you? No one will call anybody.
Oh man,
No one will be they'll be like, "Oh, another firework went
this
off."
is depressing.
We'll
I'm
see.
not saying I actually think anything's gonna happen, but when that bang,
I'm gonna
so-
say what I've always said. There's a lot more people that are ready for these Antifa folks than they think.
then they think.
Than
But-
the Antifa think. That's what I'm saying. The Antifa think that they've got everybody wound around their fingers so that they can do whatever they want, but they're gonna have a really eye-opening experience when they finally run into the people that are like, I'm
So
just gonna kill
suburbs,
you
for
if you
example?
come in our neighborhood.
So if you're
it's gonna
sleeping,
happen.
if you're sleeping in your bed at 3 a.m,
uh-huh.
and then somebody jimmies your
You
lock,
can
or
you can
picks your
give
lock.
me an example. I don't want to hear your example of how it could go. Sure, Tim.
How are you going to
That's-
give me?
that's
How are you
great.
going to give me an example of everyone having an escape plan and a tactical strategy for when they have no idea when someone's going to show up to their house?
I was just telling you what I think the majority is. The majority of people they're freaking out. They were having dinner. They came out with guns. They're ready for it. People were buying guns flying off the shelves because of this. Because Antifa are killing people.
But you're talking about this tactical move on the 4th of July when everyone's distracted to go around shooting people.
And everybody can feel the tension in the air. Of course, there's going to be an example that someone can go at 3 a.m. and kill somebody. All right,
the problem
sure.
is you're acting like the people who are planning these murders wouldn't actually have a plan for it. Would be like, I'm going to randomly walk into someone's yard while they're barbecuing and start shooting. No, they're going to be like, everyone's on edge. I understand that, and I'll adapt my strategy accordingly.
Sure.
So anyway, the point is, we just heard a big bang.
I got really
And we were all like,
distracted.
"Ooh, what was that?"
What was that?
And then I realized, I was like, whoa, that thing, you were saying there's rumors going around that these extremists are going to try and pull this off.
Yep.
Yeah, on the 4th of
Yeah.
July, no one's going to know. Because there's a viral story right now of this woman who was at a party, and someone dared her to go across the street and steal this guy's Nazi flag.
Mm-hmm.
And she did. And then he pulled out a rifle and shot her 4 times. And then she was found by the cops lying in the ditch. Crazy story. And one of the locals gave an interview, and he said, these are locals in a town that they have guns. And he says, we know right away if it was a firework or if it was gunshots. So, we just went out to see what was going on. And sure enough, the police show up and there's a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So the lesson of that story is don't go on other people's property and steal their stuff. More
Yep.
importantly, this guy got arrested because you don't shoot someone who's walking away with a flag.
Yeah.
Which he did. And the guy's crazy in the first place. The other thing I was saying is, like, this story's nuts too, because, like, don't steal a flag from someone who's clearly a nutcase.
Good
Like, the
point.
dude's clearly a psychotic fascist.
It's a good
Yeah.
point.
And you're, like, going to walk on his property in the middle of it was a town of like 100 people.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad they arrested the guy, that's for sure.
Seriously.
It's a horrifying story. But the reason I bring it up is that even the locals were like, we weren't sure if it was a firework or whatever.
Yep.
And that's interesting to me because I think people out in the country would have a better understanding, more likely to know, hey, that was a gunshot, right? So I guess
Well, some people have experience of what gunshots sound like. I know you do. I know
Yeah.
I do. So it's like I know what a gunshot sounds like. That wasn't a gunshot.
Yeah.
right, that was a loud bass.
Yeah.
If that was anything, the closest it could be was like a 44 millimeter. Are they 40 or 44? I always mix them up.
They're 44.
That was
but-
They're
definitely like
44?
some sort of like
The
a
tear gas
mortar,
canisters.
something.
Yeah, and the kids around here, they're always,
Yeah.
There it goes again.
Yeah, there's fireworks going
More
off,
fireworks
guys.
going off. There was a funny post someone said because LA is canceling fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, as I and my dog have been demanding, finally LA will be canceling fireworks.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Like my
Right.
dog has been demanding it.
So many dog owners hate fireworks.
I know.
They
You got to get them
hate
those. You got to get them those harnesses that are tight.
They're really snuggly.
Yeah, their harnesses they wear, they're weighted and they squeeze them, and it makes them feel not scared, I guess.
It does.
Interesting.
Yeah, for whatever
well.
reason.
Never heard that.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
CBD.
But maybe the 4th of July just be a good old fun time, and maybe it'll be a good little day off. But there's going to be that full buck moon, I guess.
Yeah, it'll be exciting.
Yeah, full lunar eclipse. The moon's going to go out completely. Wow, whoa. That means
Yeah.
it's going to be pitch black
Gonna-
outside.
Yeah, that makes me real kind of nervous.
It'd actually be a good night for fireworks.
Oh yeah,
It'd
it'll
be a
great
good
night for
good-
anything.
It'd be a good night to lurk in the shadows and get away with some horrifying things.
Well, it's America's Day, and I have a feeling a lot of people are going to be exercising their rights on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
Isn't today Canada Day?
Today
It is.
Canada.
Hey,
Happy
Canada.
birthday, Canada.
Hey,
Hey, yeah.
congratulations, Canada.
On
I
being
hope
Canada.
you can be proud to be Canadian.
They're not. It's
That's
been
not true.
No, it's very embarrassing. They're putting up warning signs
I
on
know
their statues.
I know a
of
lot
their
of
leaders.
people that are proud to be Canadian. So
Their leaders aren't happy, which
Well,
makes me sad.
I heard it directly from Canadians.
Good.
There
There you go.
are Canadians that are proud to
No,
be
no trigger
Canadian,
warnings
so.
on their statues then.
Oh no, I saw those trigger warnings.
No,
There's
dude,
I
what
mean
the
the
heck?
SJWs are infecting everywhere. It's a
worse in
disease. It's
Canada.
spreading.
It's worse.
It's not surprising.
Well, should we hop over to Super Chats?
Yeah. let's do
Before
it.
we do,
Oh wait.
smash that like button.
That's right.
Go ahead and smash. You know what? Maybe don't smash it.
Just
Maybe just a little
tap it.
little love tap.
Yeah.
Little just
Ladies and gentlemen.
give it a little love.
As we enter this holiday weekend, we here at TimcastIRL have only one request. As there are currently 34,234 people watching,
Welcome everyone.
but only 13,000 likes,
Come on,
we are
guys.
asking you to take time out of your day to smash that like button.
Oh yeah.
Because that actually helps.
Nice.
Helps
Yeah.
YouTube promote the
All
show
right.
if they think people are engaging and really do like the show.
That's a good point.
So
Yep.
with your one vote, you may make us the biggest show on this here YouTube's.
The YouTubes.
The
The YouTubes. The
YouTube
YouTube.
is-
Smash that like button.
A YouTube?
Smash
YouTube?
that like button.
YouTube.
YouTube.
And,
And,
I
uh,
will think about spinning the UFO because
Yeah.
it is not spinning right
If
now. And
everyone
it's like I'm itching right now. I'm like,
Smash the subscribe
I
button.
must spin it.
Smash the subscribe button.
Subscribe. You are
And then the last thing you need to
subscribing.
do is you need to sit down with your family members,
Mm-hmm.
look them in the eyes, and ask them, why haven't they yet subscribed to the Timcast IRL podcast?
Share the good news.
Share the good
A lot of
news.
people are hitting me up. They're saying I have to
Oh, I
keep
love it.
subscribing.
It happens.
They have
It
to
does.
Yeah.
keep subscribing
That's
over
right.
and over and
Problem.
over again.
Yeah.
It's a
So
common
make
problem.
sure that you are subscribed because a lot of times it seems YouTube's like, nope.
And spread the
Get rid
word.
of get rid of some of that.
Share us-
Spread the good word
share
of the
us
Timcast.
around.
Spread the good Timcast IRL word.
Yep.
That's correct.
And then everyone can sit down. You can get the fire going, and
Yep.
get the Christmas tree up, and,
It'll be very cozy.
and everyone will sit around the radio box, the
Yep.
the
Yeah.
phone, playing the good audio that is Timcast IRL. And then we will read super chats for you finally.
Yes.
The number one super chat, the first one. Cole says 2020 is the last time the U.S. will have a two-party system guaranteed. I'm hoping for a Republican supermajority, but I'll take a close win too. One of the things.
Win's a win.
So there's an article going around among left-wing activists calling for them to either. Well, there's one article saying disband the Democrats. Another article is
saw that.
saying launch a new socialist party with all of Bernie's supporters.
Interesting.
And they're arguing that the socialist movement is supporting Bernie, who's campaigning for Joe Biden. How does that make sense? So what they're saying is everybody who supports Bernie Sanders, if you vote for a new party, a socialist party, then you will make tremendous ground and potentially take over in the next election cycle. And if that happens, Trump wins with the minority.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Short Bus Dave Cedino says, Happy Canada Day. It is my B-Day, vote Libertarian.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy
Graph-
birthday.
Graf von Tyrol says, so not only is being opposed to Mount Rushmore an official party position of the Democratic Party, but the New York Times just now said about as much. Yep, it's time to stop entertaining our media as if they're actually journalism and spin the UFO, please.
He keeps threatening to do it. Someone asked.
Spin the UFO.
Thought
I
he
am
wanted to do
appeased.
it.
The
I-
UFO is spinning.
I have been appeased.
Oh,
Thank
Cellular
yeah.
says, FYI, I finally learned how to DVR Tucker so I can watch you live and him straight after
Yes.
instead of staying up until midnight keeping the great
That
work.
is
The
dope.
only way
Thank
to
you.
do
I was
it.
thinking about
That's
this.
dope.
He's averaging 4.33 million viewers, and I'm like, but we're around the same time as him.
Whoa.
That means you guys are choosing
We're
us.
stealing his viewers.
Yeah.
Love it.
Thank you.
Let's see. James says, do you think CNN and the like can afford to let Trump lose? CNN needs Trump to win.
Really?
Yeah. So their ratings were in the gutter.
Right.
Twitter was falling apart until Trump came along.
That's a good point.
All of a sudden now CNN's ratings are going up. Even everybody's ratings are going up.
Yep.
And Twitter, for instance, rebounded.
Yep.
All of a sudden they started getting users back and they were growing. Trump made it. That's why I'm like, why doesn't Trump, go on any of these other platforms
That's a good point.
and just use them? He could make them big and compete with Twitter and stop the censorship.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Let's see. Theorfander says, smash that like button and 3 exclamation points, I believe.
Whoa,
or is that 4?
whoa.
And spin the UFO.
Excellent.
Matt Hatter says, you should watch Escape from New York again just for the rant at the beginning by the woman who hijacked Air Force One. It's eerily familiar.
Huh.
Oh, I'll check it out for sure.
Yeah, we should check that one out.
Penday says, have you heard of gangs like Crips and Bloods becoming the defenders against looters and looters? What a world. Keep up the good work. Not true. There's a viral video where they claim a Crip is stopping a looter. And the video that's going around is actually from early last month. And my understanding is that it was just a regular local guy wearing a blue shirt. And because he's wearing a blue shirt, people are like, look, it's a Crip. And it's like, he's just a guy who lives there.
Well, he does say, this is Long Beach. Get out of here.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
All right,
that's
lives there.
not
It's Long
enough
Beach.
evidence.
Yeah, I need more evidence.
Tom says, no homo, but Adam saying punch the like button makes me want to go to my bunk. What does that mean?
Now I don't want to know.
Thank you.
I guess.
I'll take it. I'll take the win.
He did say no homo.
Nathan says, hey, Tim and crew, found out my family actually qualifies to join both the Mayflower Society and Sons and Daughters of the American Revolution. Worried these groups could easily become targets. Thoughts? I don't know what those are. Do you know what those are?
Those are historical societies
Oh.
from people who are descendants, I think.
Oh,
That's so
cool.
cool, though.
So you're saying you're an evil colonizer.
So cool.
Uh-oh.
Evil
Just,
Bum,
colonizers.
bum, bum.
Just make sure they don't get your private information.
Yeah.
Josh says, hey, Beanians, talk about the Great Reset. The World Economic Forum recently announced the need for a new social contract. More global changes to come in 2021. And love the songs, Tim. Really enjoy. What's the Great Reset? Year 0?
I don't know. Oh, year 0 is
You know,
scary.
all of a sudden, all currency becomes worthless, and Bitcoin.
Takes
Where
over.
it's at.
Yeah. I was talking to some like right-wing conspiracy
Bitcoin
dudes.
and Tesla stock. That's
Tesla
everything.
stock.
That's pretty much it. Yep.
Elon Musk becomes the de facto emperor.
Yeah.
I was talking to some right-wing conspiracy dudes when they were like very early on in the Bitcoin days. And they were like, Bitcoin is what you got to do, man. It's like no fractional reserve, no central banking, man. We're in total control. And I was like I know a bit about Bitcoin. I was trying it for a while. I had friends who worked on it. And I was like, you don't really think this is the key currency to like subverting the global security state, the Five Eyes Spy Club. And they were like, how are they going to be able to track it when there's no central bank? It's all decentralized. And I was like, and every transaction you make is tracked. They can load those things into a computer and just chart
Yeah,
things
that's
and,
not
and
a
begin to
win.
map out the metadata.
Yeah, no.
And they were like, oh. So then they made Monero and stuff, things that were actually, you can't track the transactions and things like that. But I think Bitcoin's, potential. It's got potential. We'll see. Samurai says, a couple of years after the Civil War, the Union voted to consider Confederate Americans war vets. People today shouldn't be able to speak for them. Interesting. Bobcat says, have you heard about the Vanessa Gillian disappearance and other soldiers gone missing from Fort Hood? What are your thoughts about this? Did you hear about that?
I have heard about it. I don't
know anything
I
about
don't
it.
know much about it because they don't know. I believe.
they don't know
They're
yet.
not
They're
sure
still
where. And it's
Have
not
you
just,
heard
It's not just her. There's
that
a
kids are
few
going
others.
missing?
I have. Yeah. So
Yeah, we touched on that last night.
all the time, right?
So I saw someone post on Facebook and they're like, how come no one's talking about this? And they linked to an article saying like child abductions is up like hundreds of %.
Whoa.
Or some ridiculous number.
Over the past how long?
like a couple months.
Wow.
Like it's just been taking off. Maybe it's because of the pandemic.
But how? Everyone's at home
Yeah.
with their kids. Like, what? Where are they getting taken from?
No idea. Maybe
I
they're just
don't
getting
get it.
reported more
Yeah.
because they're at home with their families or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know.
Weird stuff's going on, man. You know what it is? Maybe they're being raptured because the kids will get raptured
Yeah.
first, right?
I guess.
Maybe.
I don't know.
What, do you see something out there?
Yeah, I saw something in the backyard.
Ooh.
Should we go check it out?
No. If they break in, I guess we'll.
That'll
I
be
guess,
good for the show.
I guess we'll die.
Yeah, and you guys can watch.
All right.
That'll be
And it'll
fun.
be live. Yay.
That'll be awesome.
No, but anyway, what if they're?
Smash the like button.
Yeah, please.
We heard a couple
Last
bangs. Now there's a light in the back. Guess I'll die.
Yep, I guess so.
That's It's probably
the kids are
bunnies.
being raptured because the children get raptured first.
I know
I
there's
don't
a lot of
actually- I
people
don't actually
that,
know if
that
they do
think
that
it's
thing.
The
beginning.
rapture, I don't think is in the Bible.
Oh, okay. So it's
Yeah.
just
Oh no, it's not.
And I think it's extra biblical.
Then I can just make it up.
Yeah,
Extra
that's right. Just go with it.
Then in my prophetic visions,
Yes.
the children being innocent get raptured first.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. What if that actually happened? Like, what would you do if a bunch of people just got raptured and you're just like sitting there and you're like, man,
There's
That
an
sucks.
entire book series about it.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'd probably live the rest of my life
And just be fine.
how I am.
What
choice do I have?
Nothing
Right,
crazy.
right, right.
Yeah, whatever.
Eric Fitzgerald says, hey there, love the show. Home Free just released a song today called God Bless the USA and is a collab between them, the U.S. Air Force Band, and Lee Greenwood. Was very refreshing with all the stuff going on. Spin the UFO.
Gladly.
Very cool.
Gladly. I will gladly spin it.
What is this? Red Dog Studios. I want to see Adam in a muscle suit scream, smash the like button.
Whoa.
No muscles.
There's a few amazing art pieces out there that you can see of me smashing the like button. It's pretty fantastic. Someone put my head on top of maybe Hulk Hogan's. I think it's Hulk Hogan. Just
Smash that
smash it.
Smash. All right. Student of History says, in regards to your 1 p.m. vid, those people on Reddit need to look into Stalingrad and the Battle of Berlin in World War II between cannibalism, Rattenkrieg, and the Joy divisions. They don't want this at all.
Those people that you're talking about need to look into history, period.
Yep.
There was a
Period.
post on
Yeah.
Reddit
Done.
about the Facebook banning the Boogaloos, just like several hundred accounts. And in the comments, I love it, were people saying things like, the cities should cut off the red states because the cities subsidize the red states. and then someone responded with like, the same meme gets posted every single time by dumb Redditors who have no idea what they're talking about.
Yep.
Because it would take seriously a couple hours for anyone within 100 miles of New York to cut off New York's water supply. And then what does New York have? Like, no, these cities are hyper centralized and it's hard to get resources in there. They don't get it.
Yep.
And then someone responded, the NYPD has 34,000 cops ready and willing. It's like, no, there's no water. They leave. That's it. There's no water. They're not going to they're not going to drink anything.
Yeah.
So it's these people don't realize that centralization is a weakness. They seem to think that the cities are going to, nah, you're nuts, man. Keep dreaming. Some Call Me Casey says, when you're talking about the algorithm, maybe this is the AI we should be afraid of. We don't even make it to Skynet. Yeah, I've talked about it before. We just create an algorithm that feeds us what we want, and it's happily giving us what we want, and it's happy to do so. It's not really happy. It's just a machine doing it, sorting things out.
Yeah, I guess. Feels more like a piper that's doing a boop, 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 and not everyone's listening.
Yeah.
Everyone's just dancing along
But
blindly.
there's a few that are just blindly following it off a cliff. Yeah.
Let's see. Eric A. says, that guy from the Panama Papers who died was John Ash, former president of UN's GA. It was reported he accidentally crushed his own throat with a barbell 5 days before testifying.
right.
The Snopes fact check is hilariously bad. Well, we'll end up getting a legal letter saying, like, here's what you must clarify on the air.
Oh, really?
You know.
Yeah, probably.
What are they going to do? It's a live show. What are you going to make us?
Go back in time.
People are watching us live, so.
Yep. Jordan says, would you agree that a far left person's argument on why people shouldn't own guns come from the fact that most people they surround themselves with are the exact type of people that shouldn't own guns? The far left is very, very pro 2A. This is another misconception. It's establishment Democrats who are anti 2A. The far left, go actually talk to them. Like, they have Redneck Revolt, John Brown Gun Club. They want guns.
Yeah.
They
And
want
it's
a
funny
revolution.
because when we make fun of like moderate, like a crony Democrat types, the people who support Biden blindly, and they're for gun control, they call Trump a fascist, and then they want Trump to be able to take everyone's guns away. That's a contradiction.
Exactly.
And everyone mocks them, and rightly so. But the far left types, the Antifa types, they're like, no, we're pro-gun.
Yep.
Yeah, totally.
Give
yeah,
me guns.
You need guns for revolution.
That's
We
right.
agree.
Yeah.
Completely
do
agree.
Yeah.
And it's funny too when you hear them. They'll say stuff like, this actually goes around in far left forums. They'll say things like, when a government becomes destructive to these ends or whatever, it is the duty of the people or whatever. And then they actually take quotes from conservatives talking about standing up to tyrannical government.
That's
and
true.
like, when are the conservatives going to actually agree with those claims? Well, you're now seeing the Boogaloo Boys, I guess. You're seeing people who are not overtly ideological, but do believe, I guess, some of them, in standing up to tyrannical government.
Yep.
So they're getting armed and ready, I guess. They're getting banned for it. Many of them are getting arrested. So it's not even about left or right. There's people who don't like the government, think the government has overstepped, and they want to go nuts. I don't think these people realize what comes afterwards, though, and that's what's scary.
Yeah.
Like that person was saying with the cannibals or whatever in Stalingrad and stuff. You ever play World of War? You don't play World of Warcraft.
Never did. No.
When you watch the undead characters, they have the ability to cannibalize. It's like you don't want to understand. You think these people, man, they're playing stupid games. They have no idea how bad it really gets.
I know. That's what I've been saying.
Listen, man, let me tell you a story.
Or how bad it is in certain places in the world right now.
I was driving back up here from, I think, DC with a friend of mine, and there was a car accident.
Okay.
And we just literally within seconds after it happened, maybe like 15 seconds, we were, in traffic, slowly moving at a very slow pace. And I look out my window and I saw people screaming and begging for help because it had just happened. And there was a guy on the ground, and graphic warning, man, his legs from the shin down was ground chuck. And he was moving and like looking, and you can see like
he's in shock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep. And I guess he got knocked out of the vehicle. They got hit. He landed. Legs got run over. And I'm like, you do not understand the feeling you get when you see something like that. These people have no idea what they're talking about.
I have no
When
idea.
I was little, my dad, he was a Marine. He's a firefighter, and he explained like it changes you. These people, they've never seen it. He's like, a lot of them will throw up the first time. As soon as you see some kind of graphic, serious injury, they just turn and they barf.
Yep.
Like in the movies and stuff, but it happens.
Yep.
When I was doing the hostile environment training, they were explaining to us that some people, no matter what they do, no matter what they think, they can't handle it.
Yep.
And so they showed us a video of a femoral bleed from a pig. And then all of a sudden, when he plays it, we hear a loud bang. We were all sitting in steel, like those aluminum chairs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Some guy saw the bleed and just hit the floor.
Yep. Hit
And
the
then
deck.
boom, and then knocked people down. And then the dude runs over, and clearly this guy's passed out.
Yeah.
And so he lifts his legs up, and then the dude starts waking up, and
Brings
the dude,
blood pressure back up.
the dude tries getting up, and the trainer goes,
No,
don't move.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, I'm fine. And he goes, don't move. And then the guy just stays there and starts explaining to everybody that his blood pressure dropped.
Yeah.
The blood drained from his brain, causing him to pass out, and that by elevating his legs, the pressure is returning to his head so he can come to. But if he stands up right now, he'll pass out again.
Yeah.
And so he had to turn the video off. And he said some people at the sight of a bleed or blood like that will just lose their blood pressure.
It's crazy.
And he's like, it's not because he's weak. It's not because it happens to people.
It's physiological.
Yeah. Do you know what causes that?
I don't know what causes that rapid of a blood pressure drop. That surprises me.
That was crazy.
I've really only seen that in people with heart conditions.
Maybe he
Only a few
seemed like he
times.
was in his late 30s.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
It was a bunch of people getting trained for not necessarily just conflict, but like hurricanes, just like general crisis situations. And this dude just zonked right out.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine these people playing these stupid games. I wonder what these kids, these 18-year-olds at the CHAZ, who are like, it's so cool. Like I have my own tent, and I'm gonna pass a law that says I get 2 cheeseburgers. And then they walk up and they see a kid bleeding out, going, and they're like, I wonder what happened in their brain when they saw that. I want to go home.
Yeah,
Maybe.
seriously.
Mom, I don't want to play anymore.
Yeah. Right.
And then they
Yeah.
left.
Man, what a mess.
Yep. And I've seen some crazy stuff in my day. Some crazy stuff. You getting ready to spin that UFO? Is that what you were doing?
I was. Yeah.
Just thinking about it, yeah.
Oh, I'm always ready, Tim.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I can be
Check-
spinning
check
that
us out.
UFO
Yeah.
Look
in
at-
no time.
I'm sorry. I got to say it. I am either accidentally causing the cancel culture woke escalation, or I'm psychic.
He's predicting it.
Look at this. Justin said, did you see the article about the chess channel,
Yeah.
Gad Mater's chess channel podcast being removed?
Yeah.
Also, like has been smashed. Appreciate it. I don't know if this is the same thing, but there was a video recently where a guy said that his videos were taken down.
Yep.
I'm not going to repeat what he said verbatim, but he basically explained that in chess you have 2 colored pieces.
Right.
There's the white colored pieces, and then there is the black side. And he mentioned that there is a statistical advantage to whoever goes first, which happens to be one of those colors. I have to be very careful about how I say it because the stream was taken down instantly.
See, I don't agree with that. I like going second. I like watching.
It's a mathematical fact.
Right.
Well, okay.
Yeah, it's like a 2-point advantage.
Well, that doesn't change what I said.
Yeah.
You like reacting, and then
Yeah.
you can go up against their strategy. No,
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, it's preference and stuff. In games like Magic, you can choose to draw first, and you get the draw advantage, and you get. But typically, going first gets you a decent advantage. Anyway, the point is, I made a joke on Twitter saying that chess needs to be banned because it's colonialism. The white pieces go first, which, you know, it creates a whole bunch of problems. And then the joke I made was that all of the colors, all of the pieces should be brown. There should be only pawns. We'll get rid of class.
Right, I remember that.
And no one should be allowed to actually move any of the pieces because that would imply you have authority over them.
Yeah.
So I'm kidding. And now they're actually taking down chess videos.
Yep.
Well, they put him back up.
Did they?
They took him down and put him back up.
Okay.
It
so
was
dumb.
It was
Okay.
an algorithm, but you can see how the
Yeah.
algorithm just kind of runs rampant. And
Yep.
so they did bring him back up. So
And then I also
Kinda
did
funny.
the Family Guy joke when that woman quit Big Mouth, the show from Netflix.
right.
Yeah.
And then I quoted the tweet and said, "LOL, now do Family Guy in Cleveland."
Yeah.
And
Cleveland
then
show.
they did.
And then Mike Henry
You
from
jerk.
Family Guy and the Cleveland Show announced the next day he was quitting the role of Cleveland Brown.
Yep.
Because he's white and the character is black, and I started laughing.
Tim,
That's when I
no
posted
more.
the Vader gif of him
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
of
Crushing the
a
snowflake.
snowflake landing on his hand and him just going like this. I was like, oh yeah, it was the perfect gif. I was like, yes.
Tim, stop making
Juicy.
predictions.
Making these predictions.
Stop it.
No one
Well-
cares, by the way. James Earl Jones did an amazing job. It's like, who cares?
I saw an actually.
He is Vader's voice. It was amazing. Who's screeching? Nobody.
No, hold on. I saw a good tweet actually from a friend of mine who's very, very progressive, super woke. And it was a screenshot of a tweet they had posted on Instagram. And it said, "Real problem. Realtors not showing their full catalog of properties to black families for redlining reasons.
Right.
Fake problem. Bedrooms being called the master bedroom having to have their names changed."
Yep.
And
it's
I'm like,
true.
it's actually a really, really good point that we're getting all of these fake symbolic woke BS things where it's like,
Cancel Aunt Jemima. And it's like,
no.
who asked for that?
No
Who
one.
cares about
Yeah.
that?
Mrs. Butterworth's.
Aunt
Yeah.
Jemima was fine.
But why is Mrs. Butterworth
literally
being
not
being-
even any
It's
color.
just
Syrup
it's just a
color.
glass bottle that looks like a lady.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're gonna rethink our branding.
Why?
Or It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
But Mr. Clean's still around.
Yeah. You know, one of the funniest memes I've seen was
Stupid.
it was from the It's Always Sunny subreddit, and they were like, they said, I can't remember what they said, but like networks trying to figure out which episodes are too offensive and need to be banned, and it was like everything is offensive, and I'm like, so there's an episode of It's Always Sunny where there's blackface,
Right.
and they took it down. There are so many way worse episodes.
Yeah.
There's literally an episode called The
so
Gang. Was it like The
terrible.
Gang Becomes Black?
Or the gang gets racist or something.
That's the first one.
Oh, okay.
But then there's an episode where all of a sudden they're singing because I guess they were watching they were watching The Wiz, the Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
Okay.
And they got like electrocutors. I don't know what it is. So all of a sudden they get transformed into black people, and they're singing, and it ends literally with the cops shooting Charlie. And I'm like, how is you didn't pick this one? You got to ban the whole show. No, it's a
No,
fake. It's fake. No
don't
one
say
cares.
Comedy's dying.
Don't say
Don't
it.
say it,
They're
Timothy.
trying to
No, we love It's Always
Seriously,
Sunny.
they're trying to kill comedy.
give it to
they're
us.
trying to make
Have you ever-
everything offensive.
Have you ever seen woke comedy?
No, what would be woke
it
comedy?
hurts
Have I?
so
I don't
much.
know. I
There
don't think so.
is
Physically
Vice,
painful.
I think Vice did a segment filming like a woke comedy thing,
Okay.
and I think I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure it was supportive of it, where it was like, here's how you do comedy while not being insensitive, and it was basically a non-binary person making fun of themselves the whole time, and I was like,
How is that not offensive for other people that are like that?
So the initial idea was that if you mock yourself, you're not hurting anyone else, right?
That's
However, the jokes that were being made were specifically about them, which could still relate to
Yeah,
other
that
people,
could
and
hurt other
therefore I
people's
say it's
feelings.
offensive.
That's right.
That's the attempt at woke comedy, making fun of yourself.
well, I love making fun of myself.
Yeah, you always have
Well,
material.
Rodney Dangerfield would be perfect.
That's a good
yeah,
He
point.
was the master.
exactly. Yeah.
Nobody could complain about. Can they complain about Rodney Dangerfield?
Probably.
Yeah, they
They'll
complain about
find something to.
it. You know, it's like the saying, you can sue a ham sandwich, doesn't mean you're going to win.
Yeah.
yeah.
The woke people would literally try to cancel a ham sandwich. They'd be like, meat is murder.
Well, I mean, technically.
Technically correct.
White American cheese? Excuse me?
White
Whoa.
American singles.
Yeah,
My
white
favorite kind of cheese. The
No, I
Tinder
love
of cheese.
whenever I'm at the market, I always point that out.
That's a
Like,
colonized
Kraft
sandwich.
White American.
Funny.
I'm like, is this cheese? Are they going to change this?
He does always
Probably.
point this out.
Look at-
It's awesome.
They've
No, it's getting quite old. Come on, be
no.
honest.
I believe Kraft will have to change the packaging.
Oh no.
I think some already did, to be honest.
Is it even really cheese? I don't even know.
It is not.
No, it's like some
Cheese product.
it's cheese product. But it literally
Gross.
says white American on the front of the package. And I'm wondering, like, at what point are they gonna have to issue a stupid statement about why it's offensive?
We're gonna be rebranding.
Like, come on, dude. They're saying they can't use GitHub is like, we will no longer use the terms master and slave, and like real estate companies saying like, we will no longer refer to this as a master bedroom or master bathroom. It's like those don't matter.
What about your master's degree?
That's
gone.
what I was wondering about.
Is that gone?
Yeah.
It's now your privilege degree.
Oh, that's something you worked for, though.
Your PA.
That's a lot of work,
your
dude.
PD. Your privilege. Your PA.
Oh, man.
Congratulations. You didn't have to work for this at all.
Yeah.
If you're a minority.
It's a really
And you go to Oxford.
there's another meme going around, and it really I can't. There's one reason why I just don't like the wokeness is that you can very easily find the overlaps between the left and white supremacists in their inherent beliefs about white people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, they might disagree on the inherent beliefs of other races, but when it pertains to them, they literally sound just like white supremacists.
It's pretty insane how racist these crazy leftists are.
I told you the
How
story.
vividly
Yeah.
racist, standing next to minorities that are like, yeah, what they said. And it's like, what?
But listen.
Are you hearing what they're saying?
I told you about when I was at North Dakota with that guy, right?
What? Maybe. What is
Yeah.
the
We were at
situation?
I was at a restaurant and I was explaining that I had a meeting in Los Angeles, and then this guy said that's colonial thinking.
Oh, okay. Right.
The gist of it that I'm trying to get to is this guy literally told me, this woke guy, that the concept of time was created by white Europeans, and that the developments of East Asia only came about because colonizers came to China.
How condescending
And I was like,
is that?
That is like the most white supremacist thing
That's
to
Seriously,
say.
amazing.
because I told him, I was like, you realize that like East Asian cultures had developed advanced technologies well before Europeans
time
ever did.
before.
Right.
Like their cultures were different, and there are pros and there's cons. And to act like this guy believes that Europeans invented everything, that they really do. They really do think it. He thought the whole world was wrapped up in this tight colonial ball, and I'm like,
That's
not true, dude.
amazing.
No.
It's completely not true. But they believe it.
Yes,
and
they do.
And they're white, and they view themselves as the best.
It's
Someone-
insane.
White supremacists with guilty consciences.
That's
Someone
it
in
right
the
there.
comments called it pity racism. I was like, that's perfect. That's exactly it. So I saw
Yeah.
that. That's great.
funny.
All right, let's read some more of these.
Yep.
Let's see. Racer Sharp says, a sound, stable mind may present reasonable opinions, like an extravagant feast of validity, but the impatient mouths of deranged fools regurgitate trash as if it's spoiled meat.
Huh, interesting.
That was fun.
Wonderfully
Very
put.
graphic, yeah.
Kenji says, what's up, Tim, Adam, and Lids? Thanks for interpreting the madness that is 2020 and giving us your daily take on things. Keep up the good work. Happy early 4th of July. I am going to celebrate 4th of July. I am going to burn vegetables and meats
Celebrate
over
so
the fire.
hard.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just burning vegetables because
Set them on fire. Just
That would actually be a funny
America.
skit.
we should do that.
We put on hoodies and masks and,
and
we're
do
all
like
like
a voiceover of like
hooting.
screaming.
Yeah.
and you see someone with a lighter trying to light something, and then it comes around to
There's,
spark.
like,
It's a
grilling.
sparkler.
Yeah.
No, it's a sparkler, and then they're like, yeah, and they go around dancing and waving little
Wearing a
American
hoodie.
flags.
Gonna
Wearing a
burn the
hoodie.
vegetables down.
Burn those vegetables. Monkey Bread says, Tim, a mutual acquaintance that you met at OWS, who also recently released a comic book that you commented on, also supported the CHAZ, has stated that it would have worked out if the far right and undercover cops wouldn't have shot people. Yes, I know. I know
Sure.
who you are
Of whom
referring
you
to.
speak.
Oh my goodness.
I know of whom you speak. And that just goes to show you that, yes, instead of actually dealing with the problems they were facing,
And that actually showed up.
it was the police. It was actually the cops.
It was no. That was undercover people that were trying to undermine what we were doing.
Instead of the fact
Sure.
that a couple kids were joyriding in an SUV and they got shot up.
It
and-
wasn't real CHAZ.
Right. Here's the
Yeah.
proof I have, though. Here's the proof I have. No. That's
No,
I don't
yeah,
like
that
that
wasn't
narrative.
real. Yeah.
I don't
no,
like
no.
that narrative.
That's the next.
Let me talk about what I got here.
The next argument is going to be what you just said.
Yep.
Now that the CHAZ has failed, after New York fails, they're going to try and set up new CHAZs. And then people are going to be like, dude, every time they've tried CHAZ, it doesn't work.
It
Dude, that
failed.
wasn't really CHAZ.
Right.
That wasn't a real CHAZ. Real CHAZ would be like this.
Perfect.
My utopia is gonna work.
Exactly.
And now we'll try it again.
yeah. See who else dies.
Eric A says, by the way, I just got a new job 3 weeks ago. Today, someone said how crazy 2020 is. I agreed and mentioned the CHAZ. Turns out in an office of 16 people, no one had even heard about it.
Whoa.
Told them to watch you guys to catch up. Love the show. Spin the UFO.
Very cool.
I will spin it for you. Congrats on your
Yeah.
new job.
Somebody made a little comic where it's like an alien was like going about his business, and then they hear Adam yell, "Spin the UFO," and then he's like, "Oh no!" and then he's getting spun around because he's like inside of it.
I could pull that up if you want.
That's cute.
well,
We'll
it's
look
pretty
at it
good.
Some other time.
It was one of the art submissions. It was fantastic. It was a little comic book someone made.
Get the whole office
right, here we
hooked
go.
on
Yeah.
us, please.
Bruno says counter protesters should give their flags over to be burned. Blank them with kindness. That's America. Yes, YouTube made me censor that. Oh,
Oh, wow. I know what I was going to say.
wow.
Jeez.
Yep, that's YouTube.
Actually, people are hitting me up about certain comments they're trying to talk about. And
you can't
There's
I'm
certain
not.
stuff
I'm
you
not
can't
going to say it,
Yeah.
but I'll tell you after the show.
really.
But they're trying to comment about certain specific things.
That won't come up.
Timely topics.
YouTube just says edit your comment before you can
Yeah.
Wow.
hit send.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So I tried commenting when I was on the way to LA.
Yeah. Oh, and on Adamcast.
I tried. So I noticed the UFO was gone,
Yep.
and so I was going to comment something, and I can't
I
remember
know
exactly what I
why
said, but it told me no.
What
Yeah.
about the UFO being gone?
Because I said something like, "How dare you take my UFO?" or something like that,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't let me comment it.
That's
Like,
pretty
this
funny.
is a rude comment.
Speaking of
Yep.
which, that was an Adamcast IRL episode, and I started a YouTube channel, Adamcast IRL, so you can check it out.
Ooh.
I uploaded my favorite episode. Me and Ian Crossland did an episode on Tesla, and he is an incredible man. You can go check that out on Adamcast IRL on YouTube.
Boom.
Yeah.
And also, if you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Timcast. You can follow at Adam Krigler on Twitter and Instagram as well. And of course, at Sour Patch Lids, LYDS on Twitter.
Yes.
But let's someone says, "Damn it, Tim, you just got Rodney canceled." No. He only makes fun of himself.
That's SJW,
Yeah,
right? That's SJW approved.
making fun of yourself.
Their
Yeah,
rules.
apparently.
Their
That's
rules.
their rules.
So, yeah.
Here we go. They say this. Fluffy Pig Monster says, check out Seattle PD YouTube page. They released camera feeds from CHAZ this morning. Shows shootings and what looks like inside conversations. Whoa, are they spying on people?
Yeah,
That's
interesting.
crazy.
Interesting.
Your boy says, the Mayans were dyslexic. They actually thought the world would end in 2021, not 2012. No, actually, it was 2020. So there's an article
They
about
keep
this.
pushing it back.
No, it was 2012,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's 2020 for one reason.
Why?
They said that the Gregorian calendar actually removed several days.
Yeah. So
You know,
the
per year.
cumulative days would
So,
be.
over time.
Yep.
If you were to add the days back, then the true translation would be 2020.
Which makes sense.
Of course.
It all
July
makes
4th.
sense.
When what really?
No,
No,
it's just
Saturday.
sometime in 2020.
June, yeah.
No. That calendar is just the great year, and it came to an end, and it's restarting now.
Right. It would be like
Yeah.
if someone said, the calendar ends December 31st.
The world-
Oh,
The
no.
world must be ending.
Yeah, not quite.
Calendar ends.
Sorry, no. 26,000 year.
We got a bunch of big old super chats. Appreciate it. Thanks,
Oh,
Caleb.
thanks, guys.
Greg Gordon says, hey guys, I sent all three of you some links on Instagram, DMs under my name, Squirm. Really interesting, and the story should go viral to help the country. Would love to see you discuss it. We will check it out.
Yeah, right on.
Elijah says, fireworks on base. We'll be celebrating America while serving this awesome country. Also got a big test tomorrow. Wish me luck. Remember to ask for consent before smashing the like button.
That's
I'm
right.
gonna spin the UFO right now for you to do well on your
And for
test
your
tomorrow.
test. Good luck, dude.
There it goes.
Whoop.
By the power
I'm
of
pushing the
UFO,
limits.
you will pass.
Okay, yeah. Whoa, it's starting to bounce.
It's funny when it goes crazy.
Yeah, I don't wanna knock it off course.
Joe B says China is seeding counter ideology in their enemies. Think of
Yep.
it like placing powder kegs to blow clear the wall while the current guard is paid to ignore it.
Yep.
Trump exposed them. Now part of the wall is gone and chaos is unfolding. Spin the UFO.
I gotta spin it. I'm pushing the limits, but I'm doing it.
Pushing the limits of what
Go.
can be spun.
Ah!
Adam, you're mad. You
Mad,
can't.
mad.
Oh,
Ooh, bouncy bounce. Ooh.
Bouncy.
too much spinning.
No such thing. There is no such thing.
All right, let's see what we got here. First Last says, what if people started making neural net speech videos dubbing over Biden's biggest gaffes with wholesome comments? That way the media couldn't dispute the claim without showing what he really said.
That'd be
oh,
awesome.
interesting. Well, they just wouldn't show what he said.
That's a good
they,
point.
They clip Trump out of context on purpose.
Of course.
What are we
You're
going
right.
to do about it? Let's see. Buckeye says, in a message of positivity, I love both of you guys' voices. Time to start streaming your music. Smash that like button. Spin the UFO. This Latino is for Trump.
Woohoo.
Yes. Thank you for the
This is a-
compliment. I appreciate
This is
that.
a point that I was making and I made it before. It's like growing up in Chicago, very eclectic.
You're from
ethnicities.
Chicago?
Absolutely.
Me too.
Oh, Adam
So
too.
you have where I grew up. You could walk 20 minutes and you're in a Hispanic area, right?
Okay.
When we had 4th of July parties, it wasn't like only white people celebrated.
Right.
We had people of all races hanging out, and we'd be eating hot dogs, and the people have beers.
Because people seem to forget we're all Americans. Somebody out there is trying to keep us divided.
But hold on.
And I don't like it.
But
I don't like it.
Many of these people on the left also forget that most people don't care, and they will take a holiday if they can get it.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's a good
So
point.
when you're like, this is your holiday, and it's like, I get to go out to the park, hang out with my buddies, and have some brats and brews, you
Yeah,
got
man.
it.
Yep.
And now they're telling you can't.
Excuse me.
It's not even necessarily about America. It's about your nostalgia. It's about your,
It's like having a break.
Here's what I was saying on one of my segments earlier. You know, they try and market nostalgia to people.
Yeah, it works for gamers.
They're
Especially.
doing Princess Bride again. Yep. They just want, there's no reason to redo the movie.
No.
Imagine the opposite of that. Actively crushing and insulting that nostalgia feeling you get. No, people long for that feeling of what was what once was. That the good old days when they were hanging out with their buddies and, all their problems melted away.
Yep.
Imagine now all that goodness and that good feeling you get and that longing, and they come to you and tell you it's evil and wrong and you're not allowed.
You're like, but
That's basically what's happening right now.
Exactly.
That's
Yep.
your personality.
Makes people angry.
Yep.
So
rightly
here's
so.
the way I see it. Like, we talk about when you get one of these never Trumper people and they can't give you a real reason why they hate Trump. They just get really angry.
Yep.
It's,
Or
right?
shifting the narrative of what you said to fit what they're.
They just get mad.
That's true.
They don't
just get
care what you're
angry.
saying. I'm mad. That same emotional reaction will happen in people when you tell them the 4th of July is racist.
Oh yeah.
You go up to a regular American who's at Walmart right now and they're looking at their sparklers and they're like, how much beer should we get? And then you walk up and start preaching to them about how they're evil bigots, and they're going to start getting irrationally angry like, what? I'm going to have some barbecue chicken wings with
I don't
my
know if
family.
it would be irrational. It'd
That
be
would be pretty
rational.
rational, yeah.
They,
Well,
they have every
what-
right to be angry for someone
what I mean by
telling them that.
What I mean by irrationally angry is like angrier than they should be for someone saying something like this. Like if you
I don't know if I agree.
if you came to me and said, I think what you're doing is racist, I think a rational reaction would be
I don't care what you think.
No, you could be like,
Yeah,
well, I find
that would be the true thing to do. Like, you know what? It's American for you to think what you want,
Right.
and you can tell me, and I just don't care.
but you're allowed to get
And then turn around and walk away.
But you're allowed to be angry.
Yeah,
And,
sure.
and rational, in my opinion, anger would be like, I am deeply offended by how dare you say that to me.
Okay.
Irrational anger is like, excuse me, what are you saying to me? This is not Seattle. And like getting in their face and yelling, how dare you?
Yeah.
Like, because you're attacking them at their core.
Right. And that's what we're seeing, because most people don't want to be irrational. They don't want to even be angry. They just want to go.
jamming.
They just want to go brew some brats.
Look at this
and,
right here.
and beers.
Brew some brats.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You-
I
you
said
put
it
the- put the rocks
in the beer.
ribs. Yeah, you did.
That's
It's
true.
great. It's
Yeah, you put
fantastic.
I meant what I said.
Yeah.
You put it in the pan with some beer and fried up. That's
Oh,
actually really
so
good.
It is. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got a special message right here, buddy.
Oh,
can you read it
for me?
Yeah.
Whoa,
Is
whoa,
that? Oh, is
whoa.
that hefty one there?
Just came in.
Let me see.
Checking
This
it
is
out.
specifically for Adam
Big old super chat.
to buy a bottle of Booker's bourbon, not to be used for anything else. Bless you. Bless me.
Oh.
Adam, you alpha Chad, you patriot.
I think we can handle this right now
Thank
I
you.
love it.
Oh, what are we doing? Oh,
to ensure the super chat is appropriately distributed. It was $100 super chat, and I hereby bestow upon you the $100 super chat for your bourbon.
so I'm gonna go buy this. What is it? Booker's bourbon.
After the show.
All right.
Yeah.
Where do you even get it from? Do you order it? What do you,
That's nice. Hey, well, thank
Cool.
you. That's from Flood. Thank you, Flood. I appreciate you very much.
Look at that instant
And
super
hey,
chat.
And I love whiskey, so
he said specifically it must be spent on that and nothing else.
I will.
That's right. Earmark that.
And if I can buy 2 bottles, I guess I have to.
That's
I
right.
wonder how that works tax wise. Do you have to report like I was paid, I was compensated for my work with
We
bourbon?
don't have to. We don't have to tell big government, babe.
I don't have to tell
Wait,
anybody.
here. Give it back to me under the table.
Literally under the table.
The IRS is watching and they're taking notes.
They're like, he passed him $100 bill.
oh,
don't think they
taxes.
care.
I love it.
Awesome.
Oh,
Thank you,
they're
Flood.
great. Oh gosh,
Appreciate
I have to
that.
do taxes still.
All right, see what we got.
That's
Jared
great.
says, Reddit says you can't criticize the minority group. Are they acknowledging Trump's silent majority? Or since he didn't win the popular vote, Should we be the protected group?
Oh, I don't know.
That's so funny.
Either
You saw,
way.
you saw what Reddit said, right?
I did, yeah. It's crazy.
So Reddit, one of the biggest social media platforms in the world, said you are basically allowed to harass, intimidate, threaten majority groups. Okay, well, women are the majority in this country.
Woohoo!
So I guess that
Harass
means
away.
no, but this
Haha,
hold on.
Lydia, I'm
I know,
harassing you.
I know.
Have you
You're-
noticed?
You're cool. I got nothing against you.
One of the big complaints right now is that they banned right-wing LGBT and gender critical. But they did not ban things like struggle porn.
Ooh.
A bunch of subs dedicated to women watching videos of women being abused for
Yes.
self-gratification.
Oh, great.
Indeed.
But that goes within their rules. Do what they said. You're allowed to, according to the rules, say awful
This
things
is the
about
majority group,
females.
man.
I'm still shocked Reddit's still as popular as it is.
I think they're not. I think they're losing it a little bit.
Yeah, just a skosh, huh?
Dude, I use it less and less every day because
I don't use Reddit.
As-
Last time I used Reddit was when you and I were playing Destiny regularly.
and using it to
How
form
long
groups.
ago was that?
It was like 6 years ago.
That was a while ago.
That was cool though. You could use Reddit to like, hey, I'm looking for a group for this game.
Well, that's cool.
Now
Well-
they do matchmaking for everything.
Well,
right?
no. They actually have their own. Bungie made an app,
Ah, there
so
you go.
you can transfer your
Smart.
weapons. You can find groups. You can work through your clan. It's
Dude.
much better now.
When I go on Reddit, when I used to, it was because I wanted to see something interesting.
Yeah.
Like you might see a picture of like a bat, and the bat was eating an apple, and you're like, look at that!
Oh,
I've
that
never seen a
bat's
bat
so
eating an apple
cool.
before, huh?
That's so cool.
Or I once saw a video on Reddit of a chicken eating a mouse.
Whoa.
There's a cat, and there's like a mouse, and the cat's like gonna bop it, and then the chicken jumps out of nowhere and just grabs the mouse and starts bashing it.
Yeah,
on,
chickens are
like on a
awful.
rock, and then just eats it.
Dude, chickens are crazy
They
though.
are
Yeah.
insane.
We've had chickens. They're
I watched
crazy.
them eat
They're
a
nuts.
lizard. Yeah.
And so,
They are nuts.
well, that's what Reddit used to be, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what happens now if you go to the same subreddit? The same video you would find is the cat asking to come on my. The cat wants to come on my lap. If the same subreddit, you would see the same video, only the mouse would have Donald Trump's head, and the chicken would have Joe Biden's head, and I'd be like,
what
is
the
this?
heck? This is weird.
And then you go to politics, and it's all just a big
circle hug.
circle of
Orange
people
man bad.
patting each other on the back.
Yes.
About
wearing orange, like his face with a cross through it.
Yeah.
and that's clearly not representative of regular people.
It's
No,
so
it's not.
boring.
It is weird though that they're weird.
But
It's
that's
like,
why it's slowly dying.
but maybe not necessarily.
No?
I'm saying I feel like it's becoming less relevant.
Nah.
I think it's becoming. You know what I think. I think the reason Reddit polarized.
Why?
I don't think for the most part it's a grand conspiracy against Trump. Like a lot of people think they're. What I think it really is that
People are sick of PC culture.
no, the other way around. Well, no. Listen, I was reading something from Y Combinator, which is like a startup organization. They give money to new tech companies.
Okay.
And there was this big thread about the algorithmic challenges of polarization, saying that once a website gets large enough to where it's a general interest platform, you have conservatives and liberals who don't get along, and then one side will make demands. And so if you do nothing, you start to lose customers. So the organizers then, the people who run the company, try giving in a little bit, which triggers the other side who makes demands, and then it just rocks back and forth until everything flips and the whole thing collapses.
Okay.
So what happens with a site like Reddit is they ultimately decide, we're not going to win every single person. If we ban all the conservatives, at least we'll have happy liberals. And so that's why they do it.
Yeah.
That's one of the
sounds
arguments
correct.
made about it, because they'd rather have a small functioning platform just for the left than a dysfunctional collapsing platform for everybody. And so you end up with broken, biased platforms.
Sad.
Yep.
And that's, I think, where we're heading. I mean, you look at Parler. Apparently now it is called Parler, even though it's spelled parlay.
Say it. Tell me.
Parler.
Tell me what.
It's pronounced parlor.
It's
No, I know.
It's-
but
it's
but
pronounced-
who said that first?
The founder said it in an interview.
No, don't. But
He's never going to give it to you,
I'm not
Adam.
gonna do it. No, you were right.
yes.
Oh, winning.
God.
Adam said.
And he gave me $100 bill.
Woo,
no, I
Adam's
no,
winning.
no, I did not.
No, you're right.
This
You're
is
right. No,
That's not
that
from
was
me.
from Flood.
Yeah,
that was from
that's
Flood.
from Flood.
Yeah, that's
I know, but you physically handed it to
For-
me. It was delicious.
For tax
So actually,
purposes.
Flood, not only did you give me this to buy some Booker bourbon, you actually forced his hand to hand me $100 bill, and he just told me I was right.
That's right.
He's just
This is
being
a
nice,
this is a
man.
good episode for me.
Oh,
This is
For
good.
For anybody in the IRS that is watching right now, that $100 bill came from that guy. No, I'm just kidding.
That one
we'll,
guy
We'll deal
in
with
the
it however the
computer.
accountant says has to be dealt with.
Yeah.
But what were we talking about now? Oh yeah, Parler.
Smashing the like button.
Smashing
Yes,
like.
and Parler.
Look, we got 21,000 likes. Look at you guys.
Holy
You guys rock.
moly.
Oh,
Thanks,
now
guys.
I'm going to take this opportunity to remind everybody that last night's show, Tim approved this.
No, I didn't.
Oh, I didn't.
Shh, Tim, shh. 100,000 likes, and he's going to take his beanie off.
100,000
If we get on a live show, 100,000 likes, the beanie's coming off.
All right.
That's
That'll
what he
never
said.
happen.
This is your words, Tim.
No, I didn't.
You said this.
It
Yep.
was all hypothetical. I said $1 million.
I thought it was 500. I thought it was 500.
6.25
You
million.
keep
6.25 million.
It's
We got a
been
new
at
bid.
that.
ding 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 ding
It's been
ding.
there.
New bid.
Okay, hold on.
Take
I
that
want to
beanie
go
out.
back to this idea though.
Parlor. Go ahead.
Because of the censorship, you see a rise of right-wing platforms.
Yeah.
But these cultural institutions are trying to do everything in their power to destroy any attempt at the right to have a platform to speak.
That's true.
So like clockwork, Minds pops up. What do they say? Minds is hosting Nazis because they found like 4 unused accounts where someone posted like an image. And that's, and the response from Minds was, oh, that breaks our rules. We'll ban them immediately. And they were like, why didn't you ban them sooner? Because you just reported it.
Yeah.
Like people have to report it so we could ban it. And then Vice writes this big fake thing claiming Nazis use Minds. They don't.
No.
They really don't. They do the same thing to BitChute. They did the same thing to Parlay.
Yep.
They're saying the far right is organizing on this app.
It's Parlor.
Parlor, you're right. Parlor. So the founder actually came out in an interview and said it was Parlor, and I guess they spelled it wrong on purpose. So, because it's literally a word in English, parlay.
Parlay.
But,
Yeah.
well, you know, imagine if we called it like tweetire
Tweet higher?
Tweet
over on Fossibach.
Tweet.
Like it's spelled
Facebox.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, Face CIA book. That's what we call
They say
it.
boo.
Yeah.
Face CIA book.
CIA book.
Faki book.
Fucky book.
No, let's
We're
not
gonna
go
now we're
there.
gonna now we're
Now gonna
demonetized. Now we're
demonetize.
demonetized.
Good work.
I was
everyone.
saying Facebook in a weird way.
Yep.
For the
doesn't matter.
record.
The robots.
All right, here we go. What does it say? Jen Martinez says, you broke 20K likes again. Also, why hasn't Tim followed Lydia and Adam on Parlor?
Oh, that's a great
Because
question.
he doesn't care about us.
He doesn't care about us.
I don't care.
I'm just
I don't
kidding,
know.
I don't care.
Oh, we got another
Does
one.
it? But
You wanna read
it doesn't bother me though.
We got
so.
another super chat for you.
For me?
Yeah,
Okay. I will
What?
read this
Whoa,
this
whoa.
super
this
chat.
is a big old one. Super chat.
Adam, as an FYI, Booker's has a few different batches, so do some homework before
Oh
you
my
buy.
goodness.
I've seen some go for around $80 and some are 200 plus. Also wanted to see if Tim had another hundo on him.
What a
so,
generous person.
so
No,
you,
just 45.
you must be saying this one is also for me. I'm just going to go ahead and assume that. Thank you very much.
I don't have any more $100 bills.
now we're out.
Shame.
That was a
Shame on
weird
you.
coincidence in my pocket. Actually,
I mean, I'm not upset about it.
It's fantastic.
Is this real?
that is a
Maybe.
You know, I used to call them a green pictures of dead presidents, but that one's actually blue.
It's kind of interesting.
It is, isn't it? Huh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's
You ever see the meme where they show?
Thank you, John Pope, for the
You ever see the
just to
meme where
say.
they line up Monopoly money compared to U.S. dollars and the colors scheme matches?
No, that's funny though.
Yeah, it was like a libertarian thing talking about how the Fed was mocking us because the color hues of some of the bills match the same color scheme to the
That's good.
the nominations in Monopoly. There you go, man. All right, let's see what we got. We'll do a couple more super chats here. King says, remember the 240 rally car bought at 01 Corolla S18 1.8L? Make it race, ready, Bondo, body line smooth. I have no idea what this means.
Keep it going. I think this is actually from an Adamcast episode.
Body line
We were talking
smooth it
about
out,
cars.
charcoal gray, Mexican blanket accent interior, stroked engine to 2.0, total sleeper.
You might have actually sent me a picture of this. We were because I have a WRX. I'm really into rally racing.
Yeah,
and
he is.
so this is actually the reason I got the WRX. It's a beast of a car. I love this thing. It's got a lot of stuff done to it. It's
You need to
it's
bring
very
it out.
it's very fast. I would actually plan on bringing it out
Yeah, I
to
really wanna see it.
the new place. That's
I'm
all I'm gonna say.
stoked.
The non-Jersey place that we're going to do.
Yes.
And that sounds like a sweet. I kind of want to make it a sleeper. You know, make it look just normal. But when
Yeah.
you turn it on and you hit the gas,
yeah.
oh yeah.
Unknown says, Tim, my girlfriend and I love your show and watch every night. Could y'all all shout out Connor? What up, Connor?
My
Connor,
man.
what up, Connor?
She loves y'all and loves Adam going full Jesus Chad on Tim.
Oh.
You know, I do what I can. I do what I can. I call him out when I can, as
All right, let's see
much
what we
as
got.
possible, actually.
Chris Nicholson says, winds in the east, storm coming in, something is brewing, about to begin. I'm not saying there's a new civil war, but I feel what's to happen has all happened before.
Wheel of Time.
That sounds like it could be a poem in one of those scary stories to tell in the dark book.
Yeah, it's
books.
from a book.
I'm pretty sure that's the first line in the Wheel of Time.
It does.
Oh,
sound
is
like
it?
Yeah, literally.
Really?
from a
I'm
book, I
not.
think.
I'm not exactly sure, but It does sound like it.
That is interesting.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have bad news.
Time to go.
Is it 10?
It is
To
10.
bed.
It is time for us to go back from whence we came,
To
Yes.
bed.
to crawl back into the earth from the sewers where we
It's true.
have arisen from.
I came out of a garden.
But there's one thing you should do before you go.
I'm
If you
from Chicago.
haven't already, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Timcast. You can follow at Adam Krigler on Twitter and Instagram as well.
Yep, Adam Krigler.
And you can follow at Sour Patch Lids, LYDS.
Yep.
You
And
can
you-
make sure to smash the like button.
Smash that. Someone was actually asking where our P.O. box, what the P.O. box is.
For now, go to timcast.com/donate, and there is a P.O. box at the bottom of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
However, make sure you address it to TimcastIRL.
If
Yeah.
it is for Timcast.
Yeah.
If it's
If
for
it's-
us,
Yeah.
Because
TimcastIRL.
we actually need to set up different websites and stuff, which we're working on for this show versus my other stuff. But this is available now if you want to send stuff down. Just make sure
yeah.
it's you address it to TimcastIRL or whatever.
there's a hefty super chat that's just for Lydia. I feel like she
Really?
needs to read it.
Let me see if
do
I
you
can
see
read it. I won't be able to put the camera on me while I read it, though. So
Oh, that's fine. You see it? From Michelle My Belle.
it says, Lydia, may I suggest strawberry margaritas? Cheers. You may always suggest strawberry margaritas because I thoroughly enjoy them. Thank you for the recommendation. I will try that.
There we go. Well, make sure you stick around. We'll be back tomorrow,
Yep.
live 8 p.m. as per usual.
Yes.
And we'll be clouding up the airwaves so that no one gets to listen to Tucker Carlson. Oh,
Yes.
and Thursday is special.
Or
It means,
Crowder.
Or Crowder.
Yes.
That's right.
Now
Yeah.
don't worry about Crowder.
Just watch us.
Don't worry about Crowder.
As
Tucker.
as awesome as he is pretty fantastic.
Just,
Crowder is very
I
entertaining.
know you
but,
want to listen
Yeah.
to us.
but we are very entertaining also.
Yes.
We're
You know
better.
what? If we get 30,000 likes tomorrow,
Oh, yeah?
I'll play a song at the end of the show.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Before
On
our
Thursday?
Friday show. I know. Crazy.
Wow.
You just want to play a song.
That may
Yeah.
be true, Tim.
Shut up,
That
Tim.
may be true.
well.
Well.
All right, guys. Again, subscribe if you haven't. Notification bells. We're going to have clips up from the show tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow live
Correct.
at 8 p.m. Thank you all so much for hanging out, and we will see you again tomorrow night.
Bye, guys.